The landscape was covered in snow. Inside a house, a young woman named Mary woke up shivering from the cold. The first thing she reached for was her phone. Upon finding it, she let out a long sigh as she looked at the mess in her room. Unlocking the screen, she noticed she had been reading a novel the night before. Lazily, she looked out the window and saw that the snow was still falling, forming a white blanket outside. Despite that, she felt a sudden impulse. She wanted to drink a beer. Determined, Mary gathered some coins and headed to the nearest market. There, she bought some snacks and the beer she craved. On the way back home, she felt the cold and uneven ground beneath her feet. Snow covered her clothes like a heavy white blanket, making it hard to move, but she kept walking steadily. When she reached her house, Mary saw a motionless figure at the entrance. At first, she thought it was a cat curled up from the cold. But as she got closer, she realized it was a thin, young man, nearly covered in snow. His identity was hidden beneath the white cover. A sudden urge overtook her, and she felt the need to speak to him. "If you stay out here, the cold will get to you," Mary said with obvious concern in her voice. No reply came. The figure remained still, so Mary wrapped her scarf around the young man. As she wrapped it around his thin frame, she noticed his eyes, empty and lifeless, reflecting a situation she knew all too well. Placing her hand on his, she felt how cold they were, the fingers slightly reddish. Suddenly, he squeezed her hand tightly as she looked at his body, covered in wounds. With a sad and vulnerable look, Mary felt a deep need to do something risky but compassionate. She decided to bring him inside to offer him the warmth of her home and company. Moved by his state, she helped him inside and gently asked if he felt okay or what she could do to help. He didn't reply. Concerned, Mary laid him on the floor and adjusted the heater to warm him up. She suspected he couldn't even stand, although she didn't smell any alcohol. His silence made her think he might have had a concussion. His wounds continued to worry her. Trying to assess his condition, Mary approached him again and more firmly suggested he take a hot bath. Touching his hand again, she asked if she should call the police. Finally, he spoke. "If you report me, they might arrest me too," he said. "In the end, I got paid for this, and it was consensual." Mary was so shocked by those words that her hands immediately tensed. Unable to process what she had just heard, she stood up, scratched her head, and admitted she had acted recklessly. Even so, she didn't want to leave him out in the snow. She asked if he could stand, and as she helped him, she mentioned that he needed to warm up with hot water, since hypothermia was no joke. "Your fingers that were red are now purple," she warned. "If you don't take care of yourself, you could lose them." The young man looked at his hands, visibly worried, then went into the bathroom. Meanwhile, Mary wondered how old he might be. Determined to help, she looked for clothes he could wear, digging through pants she had bought in the wrong size. A loud noise suddenly made her rush to the bathroom. There she found the young man, completely naked, lying on the floor. Alarmed, Mary quickly approached him and asked, "Do you feel dizzy or confused?" Left with no choice, Mary decided to take care of him. Gently, she began washing his skin with hot water, but he said, "That hurts. My skin burns. Please stop." Though clearly uncomfortable and embarrassed to be seen like that, Mary reassured him. "I promise I'll take care of you, even if you resist," she said firmly. Little by little, his skin adapted to the warm water. Though his shame remained, he looked vulnerable, and it seemed to bother him as much as the cold. Sensing he needed a moment of care and attention, she stepped out of the bathroom and suggested he wash himself with shampoo and soap. Taking advantage of the time, she closed the door behind her and took a deep breath, trying to process everything. Meanwhile, the young man submerged himself in the hot water and whispered, "Thank you so much," feeling somehow embraced by the warmth around him. As he bathed, Mary sat in the living room, listening to the weather report. The television said the snowfall would only get worse, which made her nervous since the building she lived in was old. Still feeling the warmth of the bath on the skin, the young man came out and stood before her. At that moment, Mary realized the clothes she gave him were too small. She explained that they were the only large clothes she had left, the rest were at the laundromat. He, with visible confusion, replied, "Don't worry about it." He accepted them, and her empathy kicked in. She noticed his feet were still cold and asked him to sit down, which he did immediately. When he tried to stand again, he flinched, so she kindly offered him a blanket to keep him warm and safe. She also handed him a first aid kit, explaining that he needed to clean his wounds and apply ointment. Still, he looked lost, his expression that of a confused child. Mary's sense of compassion began to cool as she noticed how childlike his behavior was. Without thinking much, she took the gauze and started cleaning the wound on his cheek, asking him to stay still. He obeyed and felt her touch, not just gentle, but confident and attentive. With a growing sense of confusion, she tried to ignore the fact that he couldn't seem to focus on her as she treated his wounds. Shifting her focus, she decided to make hot chocolate. While preparing it, Mary began to reflect on the time she had spent alone in her small and struggling apartment. The presence of someone else, surprisingly, brought a sense of warmth and comfort to the place. Suddenly, the young man approached so closely she could feel his cold breath. He seemed about to kiss her, hesitated for a moment, and fixed his eyes on her. She studied his face, letting a short silence pass, and finally asked why he was doing that. His lips, when they touched hers, were so cold, they felt like those of a mannequin. She wondered if it was a kiss of gratitude. Then the young man spoke in a cold tone. "Oh, I see. That's not enough for you." With that, she noticed his face, the dark expression it carried. Then, while his strong hands grabbed her waist, he said, "So do you want me to keep going and give you even more?" She didn't even have time to respond. He leaned in quickly, whispering in her ear and tickling her. His desire became clear as he unzipped her jacket and gently caressed her neck. A delicate but confident touch. His hand slowly slipped under her blouse, approaching its goal. When he touched her skin, she frowned and pushed away the arm that held her waist. She then told him his touch lacked delicacy and gentleness, surprising him. "Does this hurt, or am I just not able to make you feel good?" he asked. She removed his hand and said that while it didn't hurt, it also didn't feel good. She added that she wasn't enjoying any of it. In response, he looked confused and full of doubt. She insisted, saying that although he was being paid for something he supposedly did well, with a relaxed and cheerful smile, she reached out and touched his face. She told him she didn't need that kind of reward, and he was left stunned by what he heard. Continuing the conversation, Mary explained she didn't want to risk contracting any strange disease. "No, believe me, I don't have anything that could hurt you," he replied. But she insisted, asking him not to take offense, since it was a safety measure. She also clarified that he needed to understand she didn't want a hug out of obligation or compensation. She wanted it to be a spontaneous gesture. What she had done for him, helping him, was the least she could do as a human being. The reward he should give her was to drink hot chocolate with her in silence. The young man listened to what she said and then, in a mix of pain and compassion, gave her a smile. He then sat down and began to think. "I stay tense watching her because I know she's different from everyone I've ever known. And that makes me uncomfortable. There's something about her that makes me doubt, something I can't understand, but it unsettles me because she doesn't want anything from me. Is that normal? Something inside me trembles at that indifference, and I don't know if it bothers me or if somehow I prefer it." He began scratching his heel, hurting the wounds, and that itch awakened strange sensations in his body. "It's like my body can't decide whether it's living or just surviving, like I'm deep underwater, fighting, without really knowing why. Sometimes I feel like I'm waiting for something, someone, to give me a reason to go on. Or maybe I'm just holding on to the idea that someone will come." And then, finally, someone did. That woman wanted to accept his touch and move on. He feared that the person saying kind words was just using him like everyone else had, without him realizing. He started to remove the bandage on his face, but his thoughts were interrupted by the woman's gentle gesture, placing an ice pack over the red wounds, asking him not to touch them anymore. "Don't worry, I won't do it again," he said. She asked if he had liked the hot chocolate she made. The young man, blowing on the steaming cup, seemed lost in thought. Then, as if only now realizing what he'd done and half defeated, he said, "Hey, I'm sorry for touching you so roughly." The woman holding the cup replied that it was okay. To change the subject, she asked if he wanted something to eat. She said the only thing she had to go with the drink was a box of cookies, but added that if he wanted, she also had some instant noodles, though he was a bit embarrassed and said, "Don't worry, I really like cookies." In the awkward silence, the boy leaned forward, trying to hide his face. The woman, trying to break the tension, said the hot chocolate matched the weather perfectly. That's when the boy insisted on apologizing again. "But I really am sorry." But she interrupted, asking him to stop apologizing, adding that a moment ago, he seemed to be trembling while she was helping him. She asked if he was, by chance, afraid of her. Jokingly, she said he was taller and stronger, and that it should be her who was afraid, not him. She smiled and said it was actually kind of funny seeing him act that way. Watching the woman, he began to think, I don't know why I can't stop looking at her. Her firm demeanor contrasted with her calm sweetness, like a black cat, mysterious and elegant. Every move she made sparked a curiosity in him that was impossible to ignore. Then she told him to make himself at home. Even if her place wasn't that fancy, she asked if he had any family or relatives he could call, but he replied that he had no one. Smiling, she pulled out a folding mattress she had stored away and offered it to him. It wasn't much, but it was better than sleeping in the snow. She tried to create an atmosphere of safety and comfort for the young man, saying they would sleep together since the snowfall hadn't stopped that foggy night. As they settled on the mattress, they exchanged names. The boy was called Levi and the woman Mary. Lying side by side with the snowstorm roaring outside, both found a strange sense of comfort in each other's presence. They talked about their ages. Levi was 23 and Mary 28, 5 years older. The last thing Levi heard before falling asleep was Mary's warm smile. Levi awoke startled, gasping for air, after a terrible childhood nightmare. Seeing his distress, Mary called his name to bring him back to reality. His face was so pale that she asked if he was all right, if he'd had a nightmare or something. Although Levi tried to hide what the dream was about, Mary insisted. Sensing that something deeper was bothering him, she asked about his health and whether he was feeling unwell after the head injury he'd suffered the previous day. Jokingly, she said she didn't want a corpse in her apartment and wouldn't know what to tell the police. But her concern was clear. Levi noticed Mary's care for him, which made him clench his fists with a strange feeling. He headed to the bathroom to wash his face and pull himself together after the disturbing moment. Why so much concern? You don't need to feel sorry for me. I can't give you anything in return. Then Mary appeared at the door, mentioning that the previous day's snow was still covering the city, making it almost impossible to find transport to leave. She said she would take care of the wounds on his face. Though Levi wanted to say it wasn't necessary, he went along with it, seeing the irritated look on Mary's face. Once again, he allowed himself to be cared for by that gentle hand that stirred strange feelings in his chest. Mary retrieved her medical kit and continued helping him, treating his wounds with care. When she finished applying the bandages, she said that although the day before he'd had the courage to touch her, now he seemed like a shy child, which she found adorable. Those words were enough to make Levi die of embarrassment. Mary said she'd make something to eat for both of them, as the news reported more heavy snow and there was no way to go out and buy food. She said she'd make instant ramen since she didn't have many supplies at home. Levi felt a bit uncomfortable, but Mary reassured him, saying it wasn't his fault. After all, it was her decision to bring him to her home. Levi was grateful. If not for her, he would have frozen to death. Once again, he looked at the beautiful face of the woman who told him that if he was truly grateful, all he had to do was eat and do the dishes. Levi saw Mary sitting on the bed using her laptop as if she were doing something important. She made several phone calls. When the time came, they sat side by side, sharing the meal near the bed, a space that now felt familiar. Suddenly, the images on the screen faded and the lights went out. Both were startled and confused, stunned by what had happened and the silence that followed. Mary was the first to call and find out what had happened with the electricity. She was told that someone had recklessly tried to drive through the snow and crashed into a power pole. Now, she was in trouble, having to spend the entire night without electricity, no electric blanket, and no heating. Nervous, she bumped into the corner of a piece of furniture and tripped over books scattered on the floor. Levi caught her before she fell, but realizing he had touched her without permission, he quickly pulled away. Sorry, I just acted on instinct. They went to the bedroom, and Mary said they would have to sleep together to keep warm. Levi felt a bit embarrassed, not wanting to make her uncomfortable, but Mary reassured him not to be nervous. After all, she joked, she wasn't going to eat him. There they were, two unfamiliar and distant bodies, until Mary asked if he wasn't cold, trembling at the thought that even though she'd said they'd sleep together, he hadn't come any closer. So he asked, "Could I come closer to you?" She looked at him, surprised. He started to stammer. "I didn't say it to ruin anything. I just think it's really cold, and it would be better if we stayed closer together to keep warm." Mary thought that maybe it wasn't such a good idea. He could change his mind like last time, but fear of the cold brought them closer together, and they huddled. A simple, everyday image, but something completely new and sudden for Levi, who felt his heart beating faster, causing him embarrassment and discomfort. Levi's embarrassment seemed endless, especially as Mary once again commented on how shy he was, making him even more confused. In that moment, Levi wanted to say something, to at least offer a bridge of words toward Mary's heart, but fear spoke louder, and the words got stuck in his throat. That night, Levy was attacked again by a horrible nightmare, in which multiple monstrous hands grabbed him as if to devour him. He felt filthy and terrified. The monsters kept reaching for him, the pain becoming unbearable until his entire body was consumed. He woke up abruptly, with Mary on top of him, asking if he was all right. Still stunned from the nightmare, he shoved her away roughly. Mary was horrified by Levy's condition, disoriented and terrified by the dream. His tears, trembling, and screams, along with his pleas for her not to come near or touch him, left Mary unsure how to help calm him. Despite everything, Mary tried again to touch him to reassure him. In a sudden impulse, Levy pushed her to the floor, climbing on top of her, while tears streamed down his face. He sobbed uncontrollably, asking if she also wanted to use him like everyone else. Even though Mary assured him that she didn't want anything from him, Levy continued to pour out his suffering. He said that if she really wanted to, he'd do any filthy or shameful thing, just as long as she was honest and didn't lie to him. Mary firmly responded that she didn't want any of that, and in fact, the one who seemed aroused was him. Pointing to him and his desire, Mary coldly remarked that it was natural for a young man to react that way when close to a woman. Levy began to feel unwell. He blamed the people who had taken advantage of him. Through tears, he confessed that he never liked doing those things, that he only did it to survive, and now he felt completely impure as he poured it all out. Levy spoke of the previous night when he was with a woman and had been caught by her husband. That was what led him to his current state. Leaving all those visible marks on him, he kept crying, but surprisingly felt safe next to Mary, which led him to tell her everything. With a gentle voice, Mary reassured him that everything was okay. Levy, still crying, said, "I don't understand. My body reacts just to the touch. I swear I didn't want this to happen." That's when Mary made an unexpected suggestion. She told him that, if he wanted, he could try with her. Levy was speechless at such a proposal. Mary added that she wasn't seeking anything. If he wanted to do it to feel better, she was willing to help him. Levy's tears intensified, thinking she would be just like the others. However, Mary asked him to promise something. If he didn't want to, or didn't like it, he had to say so, and she would stop immediately. Mary knew the proposal was unusual for Levy, but she believed that by offering to share a good moment in a safe and protected space, she could help him overcome some of the pain that haunted him. Maybe the connection formed in that moment could somehow help heal the trauma that had followed him all his life. He didn't understand where she was going with all this, but Mary assured him that she would make him feel good, that she would give him the comfort his heart so desperately needed. Gently, she slid off Levy's shirt, exposing his pale chest. She touched his skin with cold hands, apologizing, but added that they'd warm up soon. She moved closer to him, softly but more decisively, noticing his unease. Then she gently lifted his chin, making Levy let out a faint, involuntary sigh. With a calm smile, Mary kissed the side of his neck, a gesture that made him shiver. Nervous, he pulled back slightly, but Mary reminded him there was one more rule. He couldn't touch her. Only she could approach him. This calmed him a bit, and she reassured him that it was all to help him feel better. She asked him not to move, and Levy obeyed. Mary placed a light kiss on his cheek, sliding her fingers through his hair while whispering softly, asking if he was okay or if he felt any discomfort. "What is this?" he wondered. But no, it doesn't hurt. Still, he avoided talking about whether he felt relief from it. With kind words, Mary explained that hugs and affectionate gestures could transmit emotions, and that in that moment, they could share something special. She spoke about how human warmth could be comforting, saying there was nothing warmer than that. With a melancholic tone, she mentioned she was sorry he had never felt that kind of connection before. She hugged him more gently, confessing that she, too, sometimes felt lonely. It didn't bother her to be alone, but there were moments when the emptiness became more evident. However, when two people came together, that inner cold could disappear. Mary said she understood what Levy felt, because she knew that feeling of loneliness too, and added that her intention was to help him feel less lost through tender gestures. With soft touches, Mary caressed him, making Levy swallow hard, unsure of what to do. His breathing changed, which led Mary to ask if he was uncomfortable. He shook his head no, and she continued her gentle gestures as she helped him through it all. Levy seemed confused, but didn't resist. Mary caressed his face, wanting to kiss him, but afraid to touch his wounds. Instead, she changed her approach and chose other ways that still seemed good, causing a shiver to run down his spine. Embarrassed by his own reactions, Levy instinctively moved her aside, which led Mary to scold him gently and hold him still, explaining that she wanted to guide him slowly. She reassured him that if at any point he wanted to stop, she would do so without hesitation. As Mary continued with her attentive gestures, she watched every reaction from Levy. Speaking in a calm voice, she reminded him that he could express any discomfort and that she would respect his limits. "Levy, I don't know what this is. I've never felt this before." Mary paused for a moment and, in a reflective tone, said, "It was always important to be responsible." Surprised, Levy tried to respond, but his nervousness kept him from saying much. Sensing his hesitation, Mary softened the moment with a warm smile, reassuring him that everything was fine and there was no need to rush. With a calm voice and a compassionate gaze, she encouraged him to express himself, making it clear that the most important thing was that he felt safe and comfortable. Levy, still shy, began to open up little by little, finding comfort in Mary's attention and gentleness. As he shivered, he eventually gave in to the moment. Mary curiously asked if he was okay, then wanted to know if what she had done made him feel better. Levy, blushing, looked up at Mary and said timidly, "I feel kinda weird, but it's not a bad feeling. There's still something strange inside me, something that scares me, and yet I don't feel bad at all." Concerned, Mary asked again if he was okay, but Levy, rubbing his hands and unable to clearly express his emotions, didn't know how to answer. A bit frustrated, Mary said he should be more honest. Reflecting on the strange feelings he was experiencing with her, he wondered what he was supposed to do now. In a soft tone, Mary remarked that the storm had really passed. She asked if, since Levy had nowhere to go, he'd like to live with her for a while. That offer caught him off guard. Mary explained that, although the house was old, it was a much better situation than the streets, and if he had anywhere else to go, the offer wouldn't be on the table. Levy was confused. "But why are you doing all this?" Mary smiled and replied simply, "Because I want to." The next morning, Mary was woken by the sound of her phone ringing. As she reached for it, she fell to the floor. Rubbing her head, she read the message and then threw the phone across the room. She started coughing with a dry throat and looked for something to drink. When she answered the call, the voice on the other end was loud and full of complaints. As she ate something, Mary felt bored and just wanted to hang up, but couldn't. The man on the other end started yelling that she never answered her phone and that she shouldn't live like a vagabond. Annoyed, Mary told him to stop yelling. It was giving her a headache. Hearing her hoarse voice, he asked if she had a cold and complained even more, saying her life was a mess. He added that eating junk and sleeping late had made her body weak and prone to colds. Mary listened silently, already tired of his constant nagging. Deciding to end the conversation, she impatiently asked what he wanted. Her body tensed when she heard that he wanted her to come to the studio and return to work next week, starting at 9 a.m., his voice now weak. Mary refused the idea, saying she didn't want to, not even as a temporary help, much less as a full-time job. The man, holding a camera, yelled even louder, accusing her of acting like a crazy, lonely woman. To end the conversation, Mary said she'd think about it and hung up while he kept complaining. She sighed deeply afterward. That man always called to say the same things, and she thought it was a real waste of patience. Mary remembered that it had been 3 weeks since she found Levy outside her house, looking like an abandoned snowman. He had accepted her offer to stay with her for a while. When he had to work, he would leave and return at dawn. Mary reflected that he was more diligent than she was. Suddenly, she heard the door open and saw Levy enter, panting. He had run there because she hadn't answered the phone. Mary explained she had just hung up, but Levy, with worried eyes, said, "Yes, but something worse could have happened." Concerned, Mary asked if he had just gotten off work and what time it was. She sat him on the bed to help him breathe better, noticing that his breathing was as heavy as someone who had just run a marathon. "I was scared," he said. "You could have gotten hurt. What if you'd passed out from the fever?" He wasn't sure. "You weren't answering your phone." Mary touched his face, saying he was very sweet for worrying so much, but that he also needed to take care of himself. She asked him to take a bath because even if he was young and healthy, he still needed to look after his body. At that moment, Levi stood behind her. "Don't treat me like a child." That gesture showed Levi didn't want her to see him as a kid, but as a man. That's why Mary pinched his cheeks and told him it was okay. He was already an adult, although deep down, she still thought he sometimes acted like a child. Still, she decided not to tell him that again. Instead, she pushed him toward the bathroom. Jun watched Levi's beautiful face as he slept in her bed. No matter how she looked at him, his face was truly beautiful. That made her smile and gently stroke his bangs. Levi blushed as if he wanted her to touch him more. Mary found it adorable and whispered in his ear that she knew he was pretending to be asleep just so she would touch him. Then she teased him, saying that if he didn't open his eyes right then, she wouldn't give him a kiss. Levi slowly opened his eyes and saw Mary's radiant smile. He felt embarrassed as she told him he had already recovered from the fever, but Levi wasn't worried about that. He just wanted to be in her arms. He didn't say it out loud. He simply hugged her to feel the warmth of her body. Mary whispered that he didn't need to worry because if he caught a cold, she'd take very good care of him. Then she teased him, asking if he wanted to feel her warmth that night. Levi was caught off guard by the question. "Hey Mary, do you really think I won't do anything? I want more. You don't seem too well, and definitely not up for that." Mary smiled, finding it funny, and said that her head was the only part focused on his well-being, laughing as she looked at him. She joked that he seemed more worried about other things than taking care of his health. Embarrassed, he quickly denied it, begging her not to touch him like that because it hurt. Mary, amused, told him he knew it wasn't pain. He felt something else. Levi covered his face in embarrassment. She kept teasing him, proving to him it wasn't painful like he claimed. Levi, unable to take it anymore, asked her not to be so mean to him. One day, while Mary was doing their laundry, she found something unexpected in the pocket of Levi's pants, something that could ensure safety. Without saying anything, she left it on the table. When he saw it, Levi froze, clearly embarrassed and unsure how to react. Mary calmly asked him to relax, saying she understood if he had them just in case, given his past work. "No, I'm not doing any of that anymore. Believe me." With a more mischievous look, Mary stepped closer and asked suggestively if he'd bought them thinking of using them with her. Levi, avoiding her gaze, admitted he was afraid she'd take it the wrong way, but he also felt like he owed her something special. Trying to lighten the mood, Mary picked up the packet and firmly said she didn't want them to go to waste. They should use them together. Later in the bedroom, Levi was already ready and helping Mary with enthusiasm, but she made a small expression of discomfort. She asked him to slow down, noting he seemed a bit tense. Levi immediately apologized, assuring her he hadn't meant to hurt her. She kindly commented that she didn't have much experience with it either, but she wouldn't mind teaching him how to do it right. She gently moved closer to feel his presence with more softness and affection, showing him how to make someone feel good. Nervously, he said he was afraid that the more comfortable he got, the more awkward it would be. She suggested he look at her more closely and kissed him as she moved in. In one motion, Levi kissed her back and began the kiss, forgetting the pain he felt. He liked the feeling of being so close, and Mary helped him feel more joy than discomfort as she touched him lovingly. She asked if he felt bad, and he said no, but accidentally added that he was more than she thought, and only his face was the most delicate part. Levi felt embarrassed by that comment. Mary, looking at him, found it curious how he could have such a delicate face, yet be so different in other areas. She touched his head, and he felt good. He was about to express his happiness, but she pulled her hand away. He didn't want to settle for just a touch anymore. Mary didn't fully understand why, but realized he wanted something more. Suddenly, his gaze locked onto its target. He wanted to make her happy too. As he moved toward her, she got scared and asked him to be more gentle. Levi, lost in the moment, seemed to forget his own limits. Mary tried to calm him gently, wondering why he was in such a hurry. With a more composed look, he became more delicate, though she asked again that he not rush. With a voice full of happiness, he said, "I can't wait any longer." Feeling a mix of emotions, something that threw him off. He ended up more overwhelmed than he had ever felt before. Mary looked at his face, thinking how beautiful he was, her heart pounding every time he showed a different side of himself. She couldn't stop looking at him. From that day on, they lived in the same house, slept in the same bed, and made love. It was a strange relationship because they weren't lovers or a couple. To any normal person, what they had would seem weird, but somehow, only they understood the warmth they shared. Levi didn't know who his father was. He figured he was probably one of his mother's clients, a woman who was sometimes kind but often an alcoholic who abused substances, a fragile person with a weak mind who met an unexpected end from an overdose. It wasn't unusual for young people like him to be cast out of society with no place to belong. Levi lived in the shadows, in those corners where no one knew you existed. He led a simple life, even if it was a mess. He had been born, he breathed, and for that reason alone, he wanted to survive. He carried on purely by instinct, having lost any sense of purpose long ago. At work, he was constantly humiliated by rich clients. Any excuse was enough for them to mock him. Drunk, wealthy men saw something in his appearance that provoked aggression, as if his face was too tempting to resist. Levi knew perfectly well how filthy society was, but it had been so long since he'd felt anything like joy or pleasure that he didn't care anymore. He simply felt nothing inside. He didn't even have the desire to leave that life. Levi was like an empty shell. As he was changing to go home, a woman commented that Levi was popular with both men and women and that someone was interested in him. Levi said nothing. The woman, feeling ignored, said the only thing worthwhile about him was his face. He didn't care. He simply ignored her and left. Levi breathed in the heavy snow air as if he wanted to merge with it and disappear. He felt like an impure creature, but there was something in his chest that made him hesitate, something he couldn't even explain. When he looked toward Mary's apartment, when he arrived, Mary was surprised to see his face covered in bruises. "Don't worry, it's just a few scratches. Nothing serious." But she grew worried, noticing he looked like he'd been punched. Without saying much, she sighed and asked him to be more careful. She gently touched his face and asked if that happened often. With just Mary's touch, Levi quickly forgot the physical pain. He liked how her caresses felt. For the first time, he could experience someone's gentle touch, something he found deeply addictive. That's why, unable to help himself, he kissed her. He was too desperate to hear anything, Mary said, but she brought him back to reality, commenting that he had just come back from work and even if he was young and full of energy, he should take it easy. "Mary, you talk like you're much older, but we're around the same age, so that doesn't make sense." That made Mary pinch his cheeks and, with a playful but firm gesture, told him to respect her. She noticed she had touched his injuries and pulled back, but he told her it was fine. Mary said she didn't want to hurt his delicate face, and Levi hugged her, saying that her face was beautiful too. She smiled, thinking that was very sweet, as he continued to say that not only her face, but also her touch and her skin were soft. He gently pushed her toward the bed while saying those things. After being together, Mary said she couldn't stay in bed too long because she had to meet her sister. Levi was surprised to learn she had a sister. Intrigued, Mary explained that they weren't very close due to the age difference. Curious, Levi asked what the age gap was, and was even more surprised when Mary said it was 11 years. He wanted to know if her sister lived nearby, and she replied yes, that her sister had a garden in a nearby town. Mary also mentioned that she used to live there, but moved to her current city to attend university. With a distant look, Mary said that her sister thought she had run away from home. Levi didn't fully understand what she meant, but Mary continued explaining that her family had opposed her going to college from the beginning. Without caring, she packed her bags and moved away. Levi watched her intently as Mary told him about the passionate and rebellious life she had led. He hadn't expected to hear that from her. Mary joked that he was probably disappointed because now she seemed like a lazy little mouse who spent all day lying around. With a distant air, she said that the energetic and strong version of herself belonged to a past when she was completely crazy. Crazy. You were different from how you are now. But Mary didn't want to tell him more. She just looked at him and said she had forgotten. But Levi still had it on his mind. Why had she said she was crazy? In the morning, Levi suddenly woke up to the light pouring into the room. He quickly sat up, rubbing his eyes, only to find a completely different image of Mary than usual. He was so surprised that his face turned red, and he commented that she looked so beautiful. Mary smiled playfully and asked if he was really that surprised, hinting that at home she usually looked like a dirty little mouse. But Levi, sincerely, "I didn't mean it like that, you're beautiful." She slipped on her shoes, getting ready to go out, and told him he should rest more and sleep a little. Before leaving, she called him over and asked him to come closer. Then she kissed him on the lips, whispering that his lips were getting more and more delicious. Levi watched that beautiful smile as if wanting to save it in his memory forever. He froze, watching her walk away while she asked him to take care of the house. His heart was pounding, and when she touched her lips a little hesitantly, he felt fear. Fear of getting used to that warmth. He was so immersed in those emotions he was experiencing for the first time that he forgot his reality. He feared that one day she'd grow tired of him or find someone else. He felt that if that happened, he'd be thrown back into the cold winter. It didn't matter if he had no place to stay. What terrified him was the thought of her stopping touching him, hugging him, or showing him the affection that now filled his life. He didn't know what he'd do without her, because Mary was the only good thing in his miserable existence. And yet, he didn't know how to deal with someone who expected nothing in return. That idea gave him an uncomfortable feeling in his chest, like a weight he couldn't lift. At work, Levi was approached by a coworker who walked straight into the men's restroom, ignoring his warnings to leave. Indifferent, she commented that she was worried about him because she'd heard he'd been beaten the day before. However, feeling ignored, the woman said she had noticed he'd been acting differently for days and asked if it was because he was dating someone powerful. Wanting to get his attention, she tried to touch his body, but Levi, with a serious and firm voice, told her not to. Irritated, she scolded him for treating her that way, saying that he was dirty too and did the same kinds of things she did. Then she said the words he didn't want to hear, that sooner or later, that special someone he talked about would get tired of him, and when that happened, he'd have nowhere to go. Those words pierced Levi's chest like a dagger, making him feel as if his heart shattered into 1,000 pieces in a mix of rage and pain. Don't compare me to you. I don't care if she leaves me or not, or even if I freeze to death in this cold. I don't want you involved in this. Just go back and mind your own business. The woman, frustrated and furious, couldn't hold back her anger. Abruptly, she grabbed a mop and lifted it aggressively, aiming it straight at Levi's face. After the incident, Levi returned to Mary's apartment, trying not to attract attention. He covered the marks from the assault to keep her from worrying. But as soon as Mary saw those injuries, her heart froze. She couldn't help but feel deeply concerned. Levi, uncomfortable, looked away, though she insisted on knowing what had happened. Determined, she made him take off his clothes to assess how bad it was. Seeing his body full of bruises, Mary was completely shocked and even more distressed. Then Mary asked if Levi liked feeling pain. With a serious voice, he said, "It's not that." Mary, unable to hide her concern, asked if he could quit that job. That was the moment Levi realized the obvious. With a light sigh, he said, "I could, but I don't want to be out of work." "I can, Mary." Calm but firm, she responded that it wouldn't be a problem. Even if she seemed like a lazy mouse, she had enough money for both of them to live without going hungry. Then she suggested he report the people who had hurt him. Without hesitation, she grabbed her phone and started photographing the bruises on his body as evidence. While doing so, her expression suddenly changed. Looking at the photos, she realized how photogenic Levi was. In the images, he radiated a unique light, something she had never noticed before. For a moment, Mary imagined a different future for Levi, where he wasn't just a beautiful face, but an exceptionally talented model. She envisioned him owning the runway, becoming the center of attention under the lights, captivating everyone with a magnetic presence that left them speechless. Clearly impressed by his photo, she called him over. He responded, a bit confused by the seriousness of her face. Then she said she had thought of something that could be fun for both of them. Placing her phone on the bed, she said it might just work. And placing her cell phone on the bed, she said, "It might work. How long are you going to keep living like this? You were the one who left home, ignoring your family's objections." Maria looks away, embarrassed. "If you wanted to run away so badly, Annie, you should have at least planned what to do with your life." The other woman sighs, resting her elbows on the table. "Annie, I've been sitting here for less than 5 minutes. It's been a long time since I saw you. Can you tell me how my brother-in-law and niece are?" "Don't change the subject, you're 29 already." The older sister leans in. "You're not following the family's plans and you don't even seem to want to get a job." Maria returns home alone. In the room, she observes the sterile environment. "What on earth would I do in that place? That was never my home." She checks the notebook thoughtfully, "But I can't help but wonder how they are." Silence fills the room. She observes Levi sleeping soundly beside her, his body half covered by the sheet. Her fingers trace the pages until an idea emerges. "Levi, am I treating him like an object? It would be great to capture that look, but he's not the type of person who likes to show himself off. If I point the camera directly at him, he'll withdraw." Levi stirs, his eyes still closed. "Ah." He slowly wakes up. Maria. "Oh, I'm sorry, did I wake you?" "No, what time is it?" 11. He looks at her in surprise. "Huh? No, hello. You wake up so early? Hey, you talk like you always sleep in." She laughs. "But that's not true. Levi, you stay up past 3 in the morning." She turns away, feigning offense. "How cruel. I couldn't rest after spending the night playing with you." He shrinks under the covers, embarrassed. She smiles provocatively. "Levi, if you leave your beautiful expressions in the recordings, I'll do something good for you." "Something beautiful?" Yes, she says. Something that will make you feel really good. He lifts the covers with curiosity. It can't be now. She closes her eyes and smiles. It can't. I shouldn't give up so easily. Alone, she leafs through the notebook and reflects. I've been surviving with odd jobs. My sister sends provisions so I don't go hungry. She sighs, doodling, but this month's expenses were high. Oh, and now with another mouth to feed, next month will be worse. A memory resurfaces. Come to my studio. She closes her eyes thoughtfully. Ah. She slowly gets up, but is surprised to see Levi coming out of the bathroom drying his hair. Levi? She watches him tenderly. The day is so beautiful, how about we go out? The scene opens to a clear sky with snow falling softly, and soon they are strolling through the city center among tall buildings and decorated shops. She smiles. Hey, you look handsome today, cute? He looks away. Don't call me cute. Today is the first time we've gone out together, he says, embarrassed. Ah, I see. It's the first time, really? Even for the convenience store we went separately, right? So why did you have to call me just now that I'm like this? She looks at him with curiosity. Like what? You'll keep the new bruises well, he blushes. Huh, you know what? You even look tough. She smiles mischievously, going after him. Let's take it easy. The barbecue restaurant isn't going anywhere. Stop teasing me. She sees something on her cell phone and calls him. Levi, what happened? Do you see that green sign in front of you? Go ahead, go in, I'll catch up. Levi hesitates, looking at the cafe. What does it say? She says, answering the phone on the other side. A male voice sounds irritated. What kind of phone etiquette is that? If you're going to answer, answer the first time. She replies calmly. Couldn't you have said you're in a situation where you can't afford to lose and hang up? How funny. What important business could you have that you didn't answer? Or were you asleep or sleeping? She sighs, looking at Levi, who is still standing. I already answered. Can you get to the point? Levi watches the inside of the cafe through the window, hesitantly. The voice on the phone continues. Idiot, I called to see if you were still alive. Ugh, my ear. Get to the point, really. Aren't you working? I've said 1,000 times that I'm working. The voice changes tone, more serious. You know what I'm talking about. She stops, surprised. There will be a contest next month. A big amateur contest, a gateway to the professional world. She closes her eyes, takes a deep breath. You give up before you even try. It's a chance to start over. Don't you get tired of insisting? I don't understand why you insist on torturing yourself out of loyalty. Is that what you want? To be ridiculed, taking soulless photos? She remains silent. That's not true. Enough. You're the one who has to stop that. And if you don't like taking photos, is not starving enough for you? You're an animal, you can live without a camera? Are you gonna live without your eyes? 4 years ago, memories overwhelm her. I'm not being stubborn. If I wanted to continue, I wouldn't have quit. I wouldn't have quit no matter what they said. It's for no other reason. She drops the camera, exhausted. I'm exhausted. I'm no longer good enough. Everything seems so ungraceful. Her gaze fades. I no longer have any desire to photograph anyone. She looks at Levi's face. I just don't feel like it. She remains silent for a few seconds, holding the phone close to her face. He doesn't answer, just takes a deep breath and speaks firmly. I'm gonna hang up. Ah! The male voice replies before she ends the call. The boy who was watching from afar approaches. It was a mistake. It's just that. She steps forward but soon stops, watching him intently. Wait, stay like that, huh? She approaches with a technical gaze, evaluating his expression. Look at me in that pose. He obeys, confused, lifting his face slightly. That's it, that's good. She smiles, almost imperceptibly. Just as I imagined. Levi is like a well-made and well-behaved mannequin. His image seems static, almost colorless. But sometimes he carries something more. Something that appears in his vague, silent gaze. When I see him like that, with that contained and intense presence, I feel a familiar unease. It had been a long time since I thought about photographing someone. That strange feeling that had been slowly surrounding me, the reason that silently attracted me, begins to take shape. I observe his lips, the calm posture, the gaze that seems to hide and reveal at the same time. I thought I had forgotten that emotion, but there everything becomes clearer, a mental spark like lightning. He notices something in her gaze. Maria? Hello? What happened? It takes her a while to respond. No, it's nothing. I start walking again, and he accompanies me thoughtfully. It's just that. She looks up at the clear sky. The dry trees around look like a winter frame. It must be the weather. No, today is so beautiful. Suddenly, I feel strange. She stumbles on a step and falls gently. Ah! I quickly approach, cup his face, and kiss him by surprise. Ah, Maria! I stay very close, our lips almost touching. Why are you tense? Hey, our clothes smell like meat. Let's take them off. I take off my coat and he helps me. We can take everything off, but looking at me, he sees something different in my eyes. Don't you like it? You spent all day asking for this. It's not right. So let's do it. Get ready too. He looks at me, blushing. Something seemed out of the ordinary. Even so, I approach with determination, showing my intention. He lifts me and takes us to an appropriate place. The war is ready to begin. She doesn't let him think. She already extends her hand, takes what she needs, and with a smile, announces that they have what they needed. Impatient, she tells him to hurry, that he was taking too long. Then the battle begins. She says to advance, that everything is already at its point. She no longer holds back, says it was all she wanted. They head into battle. She squeezes his back tightly. She doesn't stop, but makes a pained face. Did I hurt you? I'm fine. She caresses his flushed face. How embarrassing. He looks at her with a little anger. Is she making fun of me? Without giving the enemy room to think, showing that he is the strongest there, and his companion understands him. They join happily to fight together. The fight becomes intense. And, after a while, both seem tired. She no longer knows if she wants to stop or continue. But he doesn't seem to have reached where he wanted yet. Her gaze becomes a little blurry, and she asks him to change the battle mode, commenting that she has a lot of energy and cannot maintain that rhythm. He understands her and helps her in another way. She feels more comfortable, and after a while, already catching her breath, she asks him to return to battle. Without thinking twice, he returns. I'm going crazy, I want more and more. And he throws himself into battle, a bit clumsy, but with determination. She simply accepts him and follows him. In the midst of everything, the two kiss, happy to be together. He gives the final push, conquering with everything he has. They exchange glances. She likes what she sees, and as he finishes, she observes every detail of his expression until they win the battle together, falling exhausted but numb with victory. Their eyes shine. He leans in and whispers, "Come on." Once again, she turns her face, blushing. He's very attractive, but I don't understand such a rush. What happened today? This is what I wanted, but Mary, I need to say something. As expected, I should look for a job soon, right? Huh, where did that come from? It's just that. No, it doesn't feel right to stay home doing nothing. But we're not in trouble, are we? There are still wounds, no need to rush. She sighs, looking away. Still, I think about it. Don't you feel uncomfortable being with me like this? What? It's not that. She sits up, curious. Then she hesitates as she puts on her coat, her thoughts racing. Maybe, but you're the one who seems uncomfortable. That call. Is something wrong? Can I ask about it? She looks at him. What were you thinking? I know you want to work, but can't we spend some time together? He thinks for a moment, lowers his head and nods. When I'm with you, I feel like something clicks. He reacts, surprised. Huh? It's an old habit. She leans on his shoulder and tells him affectionately, I used to press the shutter in my mind every time I saw something too precious to let go. He listens intently. And now, suddenly, hey, I'm hearing that sound again. Her gaze softens. I thought it would fade with time, but I guess not. What? I didn't understand. Hey, what are you talking about? A little provocatively. Do you want to know? He just looks at her, curious. She gets up, opens a box. Inside, an old camera. Carefully, she holds it and smiles. It's still in good condition. What is all this? I used to work as a photographer. She rummages through old rolls. Most are expired, no, but maybe some still work. He thinks she was a photographer. It suits her. Levi? Hey, can I take a picture of you? Ah, of me? I won't force you, only if you want. She holds the camera thoughtfully. I'm just remembering the past. It's not like I really want to take a picture. But seeing her with the camera in her hands, he thinks, she says that, but she still picked up the camera. Maybe it was because of what happened before. She turns her face. What? Did you want to take pictures? No, something like that. You can take all you want. She looks at him sweetly. You helped me. Hey, I want to return the favor. You have so many pictures of yourself. She falls silent. When I was 19, I took one at a neighborhood store. She lifts the camera. And at high school graduation, she smiles nostalgically. She gets ready for the click. Calmly adjusting the camera, he timidly covers part of his face. I'm not trying to do anything amazing, she says, pointing. Are you already taking it? You don't have to be nervous. I'm not, he replies, blushing. But you're stiff. I don't know what to do. Act like always. I don't even remember how I usually sit. Then squat down. He sits on the bed, uncomfortable. First, you have to get used to it. You can't just take the picture. If it's forced, it loses its meaning. She smiles, focused. Look at me naturally. That's impossible. Your eyes aren't weird like the camera's. I know, my eyes are beautiful, right? Through the viewfinder, she smiles. But in the lens, you look beautiful. Are you kidding me? No, there's something different about you today. He stays still, almost hypnotized. She photographs. He freezes. Oh, you stayed still. At least warn me. If I warn you, you'll freeze. Pretend the camera isn't here. He covers his face, embarrassed. You said taking pictures without thinking is meaningless. I don't just take them for no reason. She smiles. I'm being careful. He watches her, surprised by her calm expression. Do you trust me? Silence. Why all this? You're frozen again. While he drinks juice, a sudden click surprises him. She smiles playfully. Maria, don't take pictures without warning. By now you should know better. She laughs. I click whenever I feel like it. You haven't let go of that camera since it started. Don't complain. It's more fun than I thought. Wait, I want another. He opens his eyes in astonishment. You can't. I just woke up. Who cares? It's just for me. She laughs. I want to look good in your photos. She stares at him. I prefer something more natural. He observes her. But I can do a celebrity-style photo shoot if you want. How about something different? It's different, he says, sweating. She opens a box. A flash of antique jewelry escapes. What is this? I collected them when I was younger. She holds up a necklace with a blue stone. I always liked oriental pieces. I was about to donate them, but I kept these. It's not too professional. I wore some, but I only collected them. I'm surprised how much I bought. She approaches and places the necklace on him. It's going to match something slightly glamorous. Is this for me? He steps back. Surprised. You don't have to be afraid. I'll take care of you. Maria, hey, why are you doing this? I want to take a different photo of you. She looks at him tenderly. It's always the same poses. It might seem weird, but it's fun, right? He nods nervously. She touches his face, asks him to treat it like a game, says that his skin is so clear that the look should be soft. He just nods shyly. Curious, she asks, how can you have such perfect skin? Did you never have acne? He hesitates, says he doesn't remember, but he never cared about his face. I thought you'd look cooler with eyeliner, but you're just a big-eyed Levi. But seeing her touch his face, something changes. He doesn't like his reflection, but he loves her touch. Surprised, he realizes she is using lipstick and steps back. She smiles. It's not lipstick, it's lip tint. It's dark. You accept eyeliner, but reject this? I don't like that either. She applies it to herself and leans in. Are you sure you don't want any? He stares at her and cannot resist. The kiss happens, soft, hesitant, silent. She pulls away slowly, blushing. That expression is perfect. She takes the camera, click, but immediately frowns. What's wrong? She looks away. That's not the face I wanted to photograph. Somewhat disappointed, show me that expression from before again. He looks at her in silence. His eyes waver, his lips slightly parted, and he takes a deep breath. Suddenly, I'm getting nervous. Mary approaches, at his shirt, leaving his skin exposed. Slowly, Levi backs away, surprised, falling to sit on the floor, but a little. She gets excited and moves to adjust the light on his face. Mary, stop, he tells her tensely, holding her by the shoulder. Why should I? This is weird. This is a bit weird, huh? He covers his face with his hands, trembling. My face must have a strange expression. Don't take pictures of me. Flushed and exhausted, he breathes with difficulty on the floor. But he sits up, grabs her from behind, and pulls her to the floor as well. For an instant, Maria's eyes are lost, as if the world had disappeared. He looks at her in silence, but their glances say it all. Witnessing something like that connected them even more. Sound of water. Levi slowly opens his eyes, still covered by the sheet. He sits on the bed and rubs his eyes. When I fell asleep, everyone was still here, scattered. Where is Maria? Suddenly, he hears a sound coming from the kitchen. She is facing away, dressed only in a loose sweater. Ah, you woke up. She turns around and observes him, still lying on the floor. You must be hungry. He doesn't answer, just observes her. Do you want something to eat? Meanwhile, the old photos are drying on the clothesline in the background. I woke up and felt like making soup, she comments, stirring something in the pot distractedly. I found some turnip soup in the fridge. It was very good, but the root was hard. So I added salt and cooked it again. It should be good now. Levi observes her profile, confused. What's wrong with her? Did all this really happen? So that I can develop photos at home. It's ready. Let's eat. Ah yes, he says, waking from his thoughts. There's beer in the fridge. Do you want some? I'm fine. Seriously, I feel like a cold drink. He looks at the food served on the table. It's weird, I don't know how to explain it. But it doesn't seem to be, as Mary said. No, it wasn't just a game, just a provocation. Would it only be a physical relationship? Was that all it was? He thinks. Now, I'm the only one who feels weird. She seems the same as always, but there's something different about her. Her gaze is more focused, more present. Levi, he calls her. Yes? She replies, coming out of her thoughts. Should I throw everything away? Those buns. Do you want me to throw them all away? She asks with a slight smile. Yesterday, he thinks, understanding the topic. Well, it sounds funny to say, but I developed a lot. Sometimes just using the camera satisfies me. I don't need to print anything. I don't want to force you. I like taking pictures of you, but that's enough for me. Sometimes it's enough to observe through the lens. It's simple. If you say you don't want any more, I won't accept them. I can throw them away too. She lowers her head, insecure. It's not that. It wasn't as if I was forced or anything like that. It was just a surprise. I guess I didn't hate it. Mary, I'm sorry, he says anxiously. Am I being intrusive by asking? I didn't think something like this would happen again. I didn't know I would feel this way, just from taking pictures. He says with a disheartened look. To be honest, I thought at some point you would ask me why I started photographing. She lowers her gaze, but responds firmly. I wanted to ask, yes, but I thought it would be rude, so I didn't. Can I ask now? You can, but I didn't expect such a sincere answer from you. Levi looks at her seriously. How did you start taking photos? She feels the weight of the question, stares back at him. That's a complicated question. You don't have to answer if it's difficult. It's not that. It's just that it's been a long time since I thought about why I like photography. I think I received my first camera in elementary school. My uncle gave me an old one he used. I started carrying it with me everywhere. I thought it was fun, and it ended up becoming a hobby during high school. One day, coming home from school, I saw an absurdly beautiful sunset. It was something I couldn't stop looking at. I stayed there watching and I thought, I have to take a picture of this. Luckily, at that moment, I had the camera with me. I couldn't help but think, this moment will never happen again. If I let it pass, it would be another sky like any other. Since then, I started recording everything. I don't want to let go of anything that catches my attention. I want to capture it all, make it mine. Back then, the camera was part of me. Then, why did you quit if you liked it so much? She suddenly says softly, the desire to photograph simply cooled down. She sighs with a serene smile. Actually, I'm very superficial. I'm empty. He listens attentively, his eyes fixed on her. I became obsessed with appearance, with the charm I saw through the camera. Her gaze gets lost in memories. But in the end, it was nothing. When I realized it, everything I loved had disappeared. The memories on the wall lost their warmth. Even the camera tired me out, so I quit. She sinks into her own thoughts. A doubt arises. What if? He smiles at her as if guessing. What if she also gets tired of me? His expression darkens. The pressure in his chest grows. He was confused. Her gaze, her gestures, everything moved him. He wanted to document that. She holds the can delicately, looking at him tenderly. I thought I'd never feel this again. Sitting across from each other, they often shared their doubts. He saw that look in Maria, as if she could see beyond, not wanting to miss anything, as if everything was precious. Sometimes I feel that she makes me truly exist in his thoughts. Her clarity, her gaze teach me something. I'm content with everything she does, but it's not enough. No, that's not enough. He expects something more. I want to be hers. Because I like you, Mary, in all my parts. He holds the can tightly, feeling the weight of the confession. So no matter what you do to me, whatever it is, I like it. He leans in a little. I like you a lot. She sits up, her eyes curious. So if you like taking pictures of me, I like you taking pictures of me. He watches her, excited. Don't throw them away, please. Keep taking pictures of me. He adjusts the camera between them. Oh, we have to rewind the film all the way. I understand. She guides his hands. He tenses at the touch. Maria, my hands. Quiet. I'm trying to teach you. Ironically, his doubt disappears. The image shows the two of them side by side. I like this. I know. She could do whatever she wanted with him, and he desired it. Maria, you don't know? I wish you knew. I want you to belong to me completely. You say it so easily. Do you know how? How could I not know? Even if I repeated it, it never seemed enough. I want to say it each time as if it were the first. You don't know what moderation is. She hugs him from behind. He smiles, surrendered. I don't care if it's every time. He leans in and bites her shoulder. Hey, that hurts. Lately you're showing a lot of affection. He's ashamed. I can't help it. Today I'm not good at other things. She strokes his head. At first you seemed innocent, but today you became a complete beast, she says, amused. He looks down. I was never innocent. What? Sitting side by side, I was afraid to touch. I wanted to touch you too, but I didn't know if it was right. So I held back. And why? She provokes. That's why you keep biting me. He looks away, ashamed. You keep biting me too, Maria. Are you talking back to me now? You're gonna see. She moves towards him decisively, pushing him gently onto the bed. What? Now you'll see. Wait! The small room was now their world. That's why it hurts, but nothing else made sense outside there. To be photographed, touched, felt by her was a perfect world. He wanted to be there, with no way out and no desire to leave. All he needed was to lie in her arms and feel in the gloom. The lens rolls on the floor. She sits alone. He sleeps exhausted. The screen light illuminates her face. Studio Parks and Woo, the contact says. She breathes deeply and slowly gets up. Hello, it's me. The door creaks open. The night observes. Do you still have that vacancy in the studio? Her heart beats fast in the silence of the night. I feel so complete when I'm with you, Mary. Even if she were the only one lying while holding me like this, everything would be fine. With that, it would be enough. They approach in silence. I don't care about anything else. Don't let go of my hand. Stay a little longer. She hugs him sweetly, but soon looks away. For how long? She gets up, enveloped by the hallway light. For how long did you think we could go on like this? Just the two of us. He wakes up with a start. Ah! She's already kneeling by the bed. I'm sorry, I dropped something. You can go back to sleep, it's still early. Where are you going? Huh? Oh, I forgot to tell you. Today I'm going to look for a job. A job. A friend of mine has a studio. I'm going to ask for a position there. He reacts, surprised. That sounded so sudden. Well, goodbye. I can't just sit in a corner. The words resonate in his mind. For how long did you think we could go on like this? Just the two of us? He sees her walk away, his heart restless. What's wrong? Did you have another nightmare? It's nothing. She kneels in front of him. You're gonna stay here, right? If you go out, lock the door. Oh, and it snowed last night. The streets are slippery. Better stay home. I'm not a child. Okay. If you're good today, I'll bring you something nice later. The door closes. He stays there, still. Mary is right. We can't stay here forever. I want to be with her, but we can't live like this. He breathes deeply. Why? Why can't we go on like this? I need to go out too. Let's look for work. He touches the window. The cold outside makes him uncomfortable. This place is too warm. It's softening me. Let's go to a cyber cafe. Do you have a high school diploma? No, the animated guys around him are playing. Later, he answers the phone. The ad said no schooling was required, not even for temporary jobs. High school is the minimum, the man says. Anyway, I'll consider it. Then why did you call? He hangs up. At the reception, he hands in a form. This is the 4th attempt. Thank you, says the receptionist. He thinks, this is all I've saved doing odd jobs. Another interview. I see you're looking for part-time work. We're full, but you can come back later. Oh, and dress better next time. He merely nods and leaves. Excluding bars and nightclubs. It's difficult without a resume, but without education, Mary wouldn't like this. Maybe a simpler job, but that would mean spending less time with her. He walks through the cold streets, his head full. I'm pathetic, I'm still living off Maria. I still need money. She never said anything, but I'm a burden. He looks at the job advertisement. You don't have contacts. You'll regret it if something happens. He puts his phone in his pocket. I canceled the plan, it only works with Wi-Fi. One more day and I didn't earn anything. Maybe I need to reactivate the number. If I'm going to work, I'll need it. He arrives at the building. Maybe we won't have more time for each other. It bothered him that I stayed home. He turns the handle. The sunset light invades the hallway. Her slippers are still in the same place. The silence was deafening. The room is still the same, but without Maria, it seems immense. Loneliness overwhelms him. He closes the door forcefully, and he didn't want to stay there for another second. He was wondering how all came to this while walking through the street. He told to himself that he never was picky with jobs, he would accept anything, he never cared as long as he would live. He didn't know how long has it been. He feels nervous and lonely. He just wishes that he can stay with Mary forever. Just thinking about her, he knows that he doesn't need anything else but her, but she would be creeped if she knew that. He feels bad because he basically wants her to serve him to death. But he thinks that she would be better without him. But then she appeared behind him. She said that she saw someone there and decided to get close. It was him. He asked her what was she doing there. She showed him an envelope. It was her payment check, and she invited him to eat. She then took his hand, and seeing them, it was clear that he has been there for a long time. She was worried and wanted to buy him some gloves, but Levi just was thinking that the only thing he needed was her warmth. She was worried that he didn't even have his scarf. But in a blink of an eye, and without hesitation, he just kissed her, knowing how cold he was. Hyunso asked him what he was doing. He said that he didn't need gloves. They were kissing in the middle of a public space. Even two people were watching them. He said that she was the one who taught him what emptiness and loneliness were. He said that he wanted to go home because he cannot wait anymore. She said that it was still soon, but he didn't listen and just wanted to arrive home. He said that he didn't need anything else but get home quickly. He didn't care how annoying he could be or how big of a nuisance he could be. He would never leave her. Then he couldn't wait and started to hug her in an empty alley. He held her by the waist, and even if he was cold, he just wanted to touch her. He just wanted to hug her. And Mary didn't think he would make that move with her. He said that every time she makes him do strange things that he would never imagine to do, it was basically blaming her for this. He really had feelings for her. No matter how much they do love, it is never enough to fill his desire. Even if they glue together is not enough, he wants to just be closer to her. He wonders why they cannot stay like that forever, even risking that someone would see them. He didn't stop, told her that he loves her. She said that he was like a kid saying his first word. He thinks that the only thing he knows, before and now, is that he loves her. Then, in another moment, she was revealing a photography. She was working, looking at a photo of a sexy man, remembering Levi, how he hugged her, making the same face as when they were intimate, and how she told him how pretty he was. Then her boss arrived, snapping her back into reality. She complained about how he was treating her. Then he proceeded to criticize her job. She said that she was going back to her house because her shift was over. But he called her, told her that he was hungry. The next moment, a sushi plate was being served. They were eating together in a restaurant. He was bragging of how generous he was, but she just wanted him to give her money. While looking at him, she thinks that even if he is a pain in the ass, he has a profile that is of her liking. He looks very bold, the complete opposite of Levi. Then he asked who was the guy. She asked who he was talking about. Then he pointed to the fact that she was wearing a turtleneck. She said that at her age she could not stand the cold. He knew that she was lying. He asked if he was a photographer. Then he reminded her the day when she called him. All kind of stuff? But now she ran petty errands without complaints, like a perfect worker. So it is related to this guy. And asked her who is the guy that make her do her best. While wondering why he was thinking that she stated that he was not a photographer, then he asked her if he was a model. She answered that he was her cutie. He freaked out and she reassured him that they were both consenting adults. On the way back home, she was thinking while he said that she should get more serious about this, he was saying that no matter what, he was going to support her and told her to thank him on his behalf for taking her back into photography. She just can think that this was none of his business. When she got out of the car, she met with Jinho. She asked him why he was out in the cold. He said that he just wanted some fresh air. She asked him for apologies. and explained him what she was doing. He took her bag and scattered her to go eat together. She knew that he was lying about going out for fresh air. She saw something in his eyes. It was as if he needed someone. Then she wondered when those eyes started gazing at her so unconditionally. It was really unexpected. She knew that she loved him because she was just as lonely as him. Then she told him not to love her too much, while thinking that she cannot tell him something. She told him that everything must be in moderation, and if he goes too hot, he could get burned out. Then he asked how much is right, while she was thinking that it was like dust fading away in the faintest light, while stating that it was a good question. Meanwhile, Levi was receiving a phone call asking him to bring a bunch of film to the studio. Then he arrived to the studio, but she was nowhere to be seen. Then he stopped a girl to ask her if she knew where Mary was. She recognized the situation right away, grabbed him from the hand, and directed him to the place. She said that he arrived in a good time because she thought they had to cancel the shot of today. She kept talking while he was wondering where she was taking him. In the way she asked him if he was new in the job, stating his looks. Levi didn't know what she was talking about, making clear that he was there just to deliver the film. Then she took him, indicating that the photo shot was about to begin, not giving him time to react. It turns out that she thought that he was the model. Then the one in charge ordered her to bring him to the stylist to prepare him for the photo shot. He tried to free himself from her and explained that he was not the model, and he was just there to deliver the film. The one in charge proceeded to scold the woman for the mistake she made, and she excused herself, saying that she was in a hurry and didn't realize he was not the model. What is logical, because Levi has a face that is prettier than most models. Then he proceeded to talk to Mary. The man in charge explained that she was doing a photo shoot near there. Then he called her to go see Levi. She realized about his presence and went to check on him to see if he brought the film she needed. He said that he was fine, but she was quite worried because he seemed to be freezing, but thanked him for the film he brought and stated that he saved her life that day. The one in charge asked what's up with them. Mary stated that they were very close. Then he proceeded to ask the name of the handsome man in front of him. Mary asked, why the question? The one in charge explained that the shot might be canceled because the model couldn't make it in time and they were looking for a replacement, and asked Levi if he could model for them that day, and stated that he would be perfect because he is very cute. He stated that he has never modeled before and couldn't do it. The one in charge said that it was not difficult, and that they would make sure that he looks great in the photos. Levi was already denying that favor again. Then Mary told him that he should try it because he might be good at it. She also said that he has a big chance to become the next big thing in the business, so he should at least try it. Also, he, backquote, has been looking for a job, and this job would suit him well. Asked him to give it a try. Then he accepted, and she was happy for that. She was going to set things up, and after the photo session, they could go back home. Then the photo shot started. He thought that she would persuade him from doing it, but he was doing it while receiving flattery from the staff. He thought it was uncomfortable. He was doing his best to not disappoint Mary, but then he got distracted seeing Mary taking photographs, thinking how she would take PHTOS of people that is not him, thinking that he would like to ask her to take photos of only him, but that would be nonsense. He said that he liked anything she does, that she would be the one regardless what happened, but he do not want to see her with anyone else. Already at home, she handed Levi an envelope containing the pathos of today, backquote, S photo shoot. It also contained the card of the photographer. He asked why he handed over his presentation card. She said that he wanted to know if he was interested on becoming a real model. It was because he did a good job being cute in front of the camera. The professional even begged him to pose even more for the photos. Levi thought that anyone could pose, but Mary told him that not anyone, and that the professional was so professional that he worked for luxury brands. If he asked him to work more, then he has to be something special. Levi put the card away and asked her if she wanted him to accept that job. She doesn't think that what she thinks matters, but what he thinks, saying that it was not a bad idea, and that they had to see if that is the ideal job for him. And that's just doing what they were doing before, but without the touching. But she was okay if he didn't want to accept the job, that she thinks is better if he accepts. He accepted. Also, he would be able to spend more time with her now that they are going to work in the same place. He doesn't feel like a model, actually, but as long as he is with her all time is okay for him. She becomes embarrassed and looks away, saying that maybe their schedules won't be the same, so perhaps they won't see each other often, but he thinks it will be a better situation than now. Meanwhile, in the studio, someone was shouting, worried. It was a man called Taeho, was asking how long he needed to wait. He just wanted his album to be finished. Mary cites and tells him that if he stops doing a stupid face, they can finish in 3 minutes. He was annoyed by that comment, but she told him to not be so self-conscious, that he must at least look attractive. He was annoyed calling her incompetent, while one of the workers wanted to calm him down. Mary tried to calm down. The man called her second-rate photographer, but she replied that she was better than Taeho, who was the photographer who had to shoot that day. He was angry for that comment while she was just giving orders to improve the environment for the photos. The actor wanted to leave while she was just trying to do her job and didn't even flinch. The man got angry because Mary didn't react to his comment. Then Mary just got angry and ordered him to just stay quiet. This intimidated him a bit, then obeyed to her orders. This way she could do the job without any complaints. Then the photo shoot went smoothly. While in her eyes, he was nothing more but a spoiled rich kid, or a rebellious teenager. Then the photo shoot finished. He was getting ready to leave. She said the truth. They finished in 3 minutes. She just smirked, being satisfied that she did the job in the appointed time. Then he got all red while trembling and trying to say something. While thinking that she was unbelievable, someone asked her if she cannot take photos without making someone angry. Then in an office they were talking, she was saying that this was the way she was and had born, so she cannot change that. Then he handed her over something he wanted her to see. It was a magazine. She saw it. Those were Levi's photos. She thinks that he looks like another person the way he is in the photos, and she cannot believe she has someone like him in her department. Then he thought about his pretty face. She was taken back to reality by his county worker. Then he asked her if she doesn't mind if he takes Levi under his wing. She asked him what he means by that. He told her that she has changed. He proposed him to take the job, but now she doesn't seem very keen on handing him over. She said that she doesn't because he is no object, and he can make that decision. Then he says that if she is serious on getting back to the job, then she can see that he has a lot to offer to the industry, and asks her if she won't feel bad once she lets him go. While drinking her coffee, asks him if she is really handing him over. Then she told her to keep calm because he was not her mouse or something like that. Then he reminds her that once she said that she didn't like to work with pretty boys, she says that it was not the case and this was different. Then he says that he can work with him now that he knows that he was not her type. Then he kept throwing flowers to him because he was not like Mary. He just sees on him the product he can sell, not the person he is inside, nothing more. He just cares about business and sees the models like products. But it is no fun to use a regular Joe. But he is sure of one thing. Handsome ones have a strong sense of self. They know they are better than the rest, so have a big ego, just because models are the center of attention. That left Mary thinking, and asked if he was different than the rest. He says that Levi doesn't have a sense of self. He knows that he was an odd one. When he told him to not show any expression, he didn't show any. He showed nothing. No one had ever do that before, and he was cute above average. He is interested on him as a mannequin, not a subject. He would tell him to pose in one way, and he would nothing more than a cute mannequin. He would be a perfect model from his point of view. Then she thinks that he is twisted. Seeing her expression, he deduces that she is not happy on what he said, and she says that it doesn't sound right. Then he said that while he was modeling, he used an unusual face. This called her attention, but said that he still turned out to look very good. She was thinking on how he referred to that, an unusual face. Then she thought that she tried all to make him make that kind of face. Meanwhile, at home, Levi was sitting on the bed, hearing the sound of the clock. Thinking that he was no worthy of being a model, he was thinking on the stuff Mary got him, that her house was a place where he could return without a second thought. A cozy life he never felt before. It was better than sleeping on storage rooms and being bullied by strangers. He lied down with Mary, thinking that he shouldn't feel anxious like he was right now, while saying in a tiny voice, "I love you, Mary." He says that he loves her, that he adored her, but then why does he feel so lost? Then he was taking photos in the studio. Someone stopped the session. It was because Levi was not following the instructions. The photographer asked him if something was wrong today. Levi asked for apologies. A photographer said that he seems off. Then he told him that he was going to take him to drink a coffee. Already changed, while he was walking out of the changing room, he heard someone saying that someone got the photo shoot canceled. When he got out, he saw a man with green hair standing there. He smiled and said that he has heard that he and Tasik are, I think he heard that, and told him that he heard that he got the job because he had an affair with someone. Everyone were murmuring things about him. Levi just turned away in shame. The man thinks that it was no problem what he said and touched Levi on the back, but in a blink of an eye, he pushed him against the wall, because he was being ignored. He was angry because Levi got the job he wanted so much and told him that if he wanted to keep the job, he had to react. Nobody wants a mannequin forever. He says that this was a piece of cake for Levi just because he had Connectrian, but he will get doomed with that attitude. The other men told the Green Man that they should go, and he left not before calling Levi a piece of brown processed food. Then Levi was thinking on what he said, that he was lucky, ungrateful, and has it easy, and thinks that those words never had applied to him ever. He never wanted to know anyone, and everyone were just a blurry and uncertain beings. Some things that say things once in a while. Then the photographer arrived, asked him why he was so quiet. While Levi was still wondering if he heard what the man with green hair said, already out, the photographer told him that models look confident on the outside, but most of them are desperate in the inside. Then kept explaining to Levi why is like that in the industry. Gave him a cup of coffee and told him that most people would kill for the job, and that if some random just appears and gets the job out of nowhere is something that would make the rest of the models angry. And Levi wondered if he was telling him off and said that he doesn't care what others might say about him, that there is nothing he could do about that. The photographer said that he has never seen anyone like him at all, while Levi thinks that he is offending him. But that is the reason why he is working with Levi despite being a stranger, but tells Levi that it won't last long if he keeps acting as he is doing, that he is not getting nowhere if he tries to hide himself. He questions if he doesn't like the job. Levi just can say that he doesn't know. Getting up, the photographer just can ask, what kind of question is that? Throwing the empty cup, he says that Levi is doing it quite well, that he has a lot of opportunities that some don't in the little time he has been there, and that he has to take advantage of them. Levi can just look away, and the photographer tells him to just think about that, then gave him tickets and told him to make time to visit that place. Is an exhibition of their photographers. He thinks it might motivate Levi a bit. Also said that Mary has sent her work too. This catches Levi's attention. He immediately took the tickets. This made the photographer think something, and he said that is likely that she won a prize there, so it'll be good. The photographer thinks he is crazy because he doesn't react at anything he says. But when he mentioned Mary, he immediately had a reaction, not a reaction that is chosen by someone. Another time at home, Mary left home and it was cold outside. Then she noticed that Levi was sitting on a bench on the snow, as if he enjoyed being a snowman. She got closer to draw his attention. He reacted and she asked if she surprised him. He told her that it was nothing, and she said him that he should have to go home and asked him what he was doing there. He said that they should go home together and it was dangerous to go out alone at night. She reassured him, saying that she was costumed to that. He should not wait there because it is freezing. But he said that he would wait for her and that he doesn't mind waiting, then told her that they should hurry home. She asked him if he likes her that much. She asked him why he liked her that much, and he said that she was special. She asked him how is she special. He replied, in every way. She asked what he means. The only thing he wanted was to stay by her side forever. Another day, the job of the day was over and everyone were leaving home already. The photographer asked Levi, he was going to go today. He replied that he is going. The photographer told him that he was going to give him a drive, but he had to meet with the editor. Then asked him to call Mary when he gets there, and that the studio director dragged her out that day. This called Levi's attention because the photographer also mentioned that she won a prize. He explained that he didn't know because Mary didn't like to brag about those stuff. She didn't even tell Levi, even thought it was, because she got the first place. Then before leaving, the photographer asked Levi to contract her on his behalf. Already alone, Levi thought that she didn't do it on purpose, that maybe she just forgot to tell him, and he was justifying her in his thoughts. But then he bumped into the green-haired man again. He just pushed Levi and left in a hurry. Levi thought that he was just in the changing room, but then he realized something. He ruined Levi's clothes with scissors. He didn't think that someone would get to this just because he didn't like him. But that didn't anger him. He just cannot understand why he did it if they haven't properly talked in the past. But there is no point on answer violence with violence. That would only tire him. He thinks that like this he cannot go to see her. But what if they miss each other? But then he left the changing room because there was no time for him to be thinking about these thoughts. And he could find her easy because she is the winner of the big prize after all. Then he hurried to get there. And as he has enough money on him, he could get a taxi and get there quickly. Already in the exhibition, he arrived just in time. He thinks that he is a mess because he had nothing to change with. Then he saw the painting of Mary. He decided to wait for her in front of this one. He was thinking if he should congratulate her, was thinking the way he should do it. He shouldn't sound awkward, so he was practicing how he would do it. He didn't see her at all. After all, she should be there by now. Then he noticed what the grand prize was. As he hasn't seen any other photos of her, nor he is a genius on the topic, he got closer to the photo. But when seeing at it, he knew immediately that it was her work without any doubts. We see that Maria is calling someone, but the answering machine answer and say, "The person you are calling is not available. Please leave a message at the tone." Then we see the manager again saying, "Who are you calling?" And she say to him, "He said it be just a few photos. Is it still not finished yet?" Levi tell to Maria, "Geez, mind your own business. If you want, you can tell them to bring them to the after party." To calm her down. Maria says, "After party? I don't think so. Who said I'm going anyway?" Then Maria realizes something and asks for herself, "What's going on?" We come back to the reality, and we see Levi watching a photo. The photo smelled of winter, despite no clues as to the season. Think Levi, with the frigid air, is enough to raise a goosebumps to Levi. Then he stood there shamelessly, drunk on lust. We see how his entire body trembled. He goes into shock. Then he sees a light and just realizes he finally understands that this is what meant to be just between them. Everything. He finally understands everything. He think, and an excrement of pleasure that is no different from others. Levi just think Maria. He back to reality himself with Maria and says, "Pull yourself together, Maria." Maria asks, "Are you okay?" He goes into shock again and he asks Maria, "Can't you hear me?" He grabs her arm firmly and both of them enter to a building. But Maria screams, "What is he doing?" Then Levi asks to her, "How could you do this? How could you hang that picture out there? Why that one?" Maria just says, "Levi," while he is asking again that why would she do that. Levi tells her, in front of everyone, that because of you, no matter how disgusted, uncomfortable, and scared I was. Levi continues saying, "It didn't matter. I could show you all my weaknesses, but how could you put that out there for everyone to see?" We see that Levi start crying and tell her, "How could you do this to me? How?" Maria only says, "Levi," and in an instant she grabs his face and kisses him. In the middle of the kiss, she asks to he, "Was that filthy?" and asks him, "Did I hurt you?" He just stands frozen with the flowers in his hands. Maria, at the end of all, asks him, "Why are you all by yourself?" We see how the time just passed, and we see them in the car. The director asks to Maria, "I didn't do it on purpose." Maria just stares. The director tries to explain that honestly, it was an accident. He had no idea the files got switched somewhere in the process. After say that, he asks, "Please, will you say something?" Maria just says that is fine. She's the one who should have kept the files in order. The director just takes a breath. The director asks, "Maria, was it? He is the model that Tysick has been working with lately, isn't he? And the guy you are dating." The director remembers to her that don't forget that you're starting your career at the bottom. After say that, he says, "Damn, the spotlight is on you right now for being so talented." That alone was enough to get things started. Maria states, "But you know a photographer dating a model won't look very good from the outside, don't you? And throw on that ugly scandal from back then. It'd be like I'm whipping up some third-rate movie." "Hey, stop overreacting and keep driving. The light's green," affirms Maria. The director asks her, "He didn't sign with any agencies, did he? This was an accident, but it'd be a big headache if anyone brought up rights infringement. You better make it clear to him later that the pictures got switched by mistake. Well, I guess you know what to do," affirm Maria. We see that the director drops her off at her stop. Maria says, "He must have thought the bigger the bouquet, the better. A gift of countless roses bound in a lush bouquet, just like your affection for me." She thinks that each petal is telling her his ever-flowing love. Maria, remember her words. "Did I hurt you?" She remembers that she says, "You love the pain I give you, don't you?" Maria thinks she ruined them all. As she walks regretting, she listens something and immediately turns her head to a side. She sees him sitting on the floor, but at that moment she couldn't move. Because of the rush of relief and an ache I didn't know was from guilt or sadness, thinks Maria. But then we see the Levi perspective. While he is walking at the street, he thinks, "Why did I say something like that?" And remember the words of Maria. Was that filthy? Levi felt nauseous, and at last he couldn't support the nauseous. While he runs to throw up, he remembers that she saved him. He remembers that she is the reason that I can keep on living. It really didn't matter which picture she used. Levi thinks didn't he says he would do anything to help her? He stares and think, what if she got angry? He thinks, what if she doesn't want anymore? What should he do then? We come back to the present with Maria asking herself, How long has he been waiting there? The scene of Levi just sitting there alone is showed to us. We see how Levi is telling Maria that he is so sorry to her. She tells him to stop, that it was all her fault. Levi continues apologizing to her, and Maria asks him what he do so wrong to do that. Levi says, "I yelled at you and acted violently. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for getting angry. Please don't hate me." Maria asks him, "What on earth are you talking about? Obviously, I'm the one at fault here," says Maria. "Did you not see me win by taking advantage of you? I used your picture without your permission." She is very sorry and sincerely asks for forgiveness. She says that he is right and she is wrong. "It's her fault. This is all my fault," says Levi. Levi screamed to her, "Maria, you are my entire world. You can use me as you want." He says that she can use him however she wants, that he forgot his place on this world. Maria just stares in silence, just for tell him that he is talking just if she is his god. Maria says, "If that how you think of me." For tell him that he is just a person. Surprised Levi says, "Maria, I'm self-centered more than I need to be. Plus, I'm prideful, a coward, and just mean. I'm not that good of a person or as incredible as you make me out to be." Maria, blushing, says if she thinks she is special, just for tell him you are wrong. I'm not different from anyone you've met before. What I've given you is just a shallow thing they could have easily given you too. Levi, surprised, just listen to her. From anyone's perspective, you're a kind, good-hearted person. Beautiful, says Maria. Levi says, that's not true. You are underscore. I can't be your god, nor do I want to be, says Maria. Levi is surprised. I'm sorry. Levi takes the Maria hand. I'll do whatever you say, says Levi. I won't be a nuisance, and I'll stop nagging you. I won't wear you out or bother you when you're working. I'll also work harder, affirmed Maria. You can even take all the pictures you want, says Levi. Really, I'll do anything. Please, I will. So please, I beg you not to push me away. Levi finally says, please don't abandon me, please. They finally say what they were feeling. Maria finally feels at peace. Maria hugs Levi. Levi is trembling and Maria says, it's cold, let's get inside. It's still winter and it's too much cold. Another day, Levi was having a photo session. He was thinking how it has been a week since the exhibition. He remembered that Mary got busy after what happened. She didn't spend too much time at home these days. As for him, he has been calling too much to the studio since the photo was released to the public. According to Tysick, it drew some attention after a famous critic mentioned of Mary *S work. At home they saw each other even less, but still managed to talk and even touch each other. He no longer waited for her endlessly, nor pestered her anymore. Or better said, he pretended he didn't do that. Someone asked him if he remembered what he said before. They were in the photographer studio, and he was saying that he wouldn't last long in the industry. Then he showed him some cards for agencies that showed interest in Levi. He had to be serious now and learn to be a professional, and working with an agency would be better. So he had the opportunity to rise to the top in no time. He said that it was completely feasible for him. Then he asked him if he wanted to become a professional model. He thought about it. Then he remembered what Mary told him about giving a try to it. The photographer asked him if he wasn't sure about that, but he can see that he was born for this. Then he said what strong features he had. Levi thought that he was gonna work harder. As long as Mary looks at him, he could do anything. Then he asked what he should do. The photographer stopped and he asked it again. What do I need to do? He asked. Then the photographer put his cup of coffee down and said that there was no need to rush, that he needed to contact the agencies and go over some more details and a lot of more detail to consider. He said to take some time to see his options and then discuss them, and said that he wanted to get to work. He needed to start auditioning too, a lot of busier. He also pointed that even when he has no modeling experience, he became the center of attention with only one photo. He needed to have more to show than that. But he doesn't have to worry too much. Then said that he would not be the only photographer who would be interested on taking pictures of him. At night, he arrived to his department and collapsed on his bed. He was swamped. Then a folder fell from the bed. He checked the messages, but put his phone down. He wondered what the hell he was doing. He thought about Mary, how he hated that she told him that she couldn't be his god. She was the only thing he needed. He thought that without her, none of this really matters. He doesn't really want to talk to anyone else. He said that while imagining himself hugging her, surrounded by flowers, he thought that she was leaving him all alone. He was altered, thinking that he just wanted to be with her. That was the only thing he wanted, and was thinking that if she knew he was like that, probably she would just push him away. So he had to pretend that everything was fine. He decided that he would hide all those thoughts and pretend that he is interested in his work, just work hard so she doesn't leave him. He wants to act as if he doesn't feel her warmth when the morning comes. Even if he doesn't like when she leaves, he intends to pretend that everything is okay, so she doesn't find his dark side. He thought that when Mile was slamming quietly his head against the wall, a lot of thought flooded his mind like, why I'm doing this? I'm becoming someone else's life meaningless. A girl said that his fingers were bleeding. She said that he should be very stressed. She told him that if he doesn't leave the fingers alone, he would hurt himself. He apologized, and she replied that apologizing was not necessary. She asked him if he was tired and said that he wouldn't leave him alone no matter what. Then she gave him a water can. He thanked her. She said that she would bet that he didn't have time to eat. Then she invited him to eat with the staff, but he declined. She told him to not be shy. She told him that hanging out with them would be fun while patting his arm. But that action touched a nerve on him. Then he retired her arm aggressively. He dropped the can and some documents. Immediately, he apologized. She said that she was not covered in germs. He apologized again while she said that it hurts. He was starting to cry about it. Then she said that if he was really sorry, then he would come with them tonight. Already in the restaurant, some people were impressed. Yoon-soo and Levi were arriving. They were surprised that Levi showed that night, and Yoon-soo said that they were friends. Then he was going to take a seat. Another man said that he never imagined that he would show up. It was Sung-tae who teased Levi a little. Yoon-soo was angry for that, but Levi had no reaction. The photographer patted his head, saying that he was a bit angry because his photo shoot was canceled, and he was even pissed off because he mentioned it. Then the photographer said that they both should get along. A woman asked him if he drank, and he said that he was okay with anything. The photographer then mentioned that as he was still 23, then he should go to collage, but he replied that he didn't go. Then more questions were made while eating. The girls were amazed for how handsome Levi was. While admiring his cuteness, Levi could just think that this was an exhausting situation. They were even asking him where he took his handsomeness, and obviously it was from his mother. Sung-tae was pissed off because Levi knew how cute he was, and they didn't get many models like him. He thought that it just meant that losers like him don't dare to try modeling. The night went on, and they still mentioned that Levi was handsome, and besides that, also very polite. Sung-tae asked those two things and made fun of that, then started to challenge him, asking him if he even knew the names of the people here. He said that Levi has no idea after working with them for an entire month, and challenged him to say their names. Then, the people there started to get fed up with Sung-tae, and the photographer invited him to retire. Yoon-soo tried to justify that behavior, and then tried to lift up the spirits. While everyone were cheering, Levi thought that he had nothing to be upset about, nor bad feelings. What that guy said wasn't wrong, and he called him that guy because maybe he doesn't remember his name. That night, he just realized that the woman next to him was one of the staff that make his makeup. He wasn't interested in them anyways. His work and the place he is in right now are meaningless to him. He doesn't even know what he is doing there, just could think about Mary. He regretted to have come tonight. Then he said that he should go, but everyone tried to convince him to stay. Then he heard the name of Mary. He turned his gaze, and holding a cup of wine, she was there drinking and having a good time. This turned on all his alerts. She was drinking with someone else. His thoughts were crashing into the walls. All those thoughts were breaking into pieces. He feels sick. Right there, he was hearing that people heard rumors of them dating. They were just talking about that. Levi felt very bad just by hearing that. He squeezed the cloth he was holding. But then, Yoon-soo was surprised by something. Sung-tae was entering back, but Levi just pushed him away and walked away. The talk of what went into Levi's head were getting louder. Then Mary asked the director if he saw someone, and he said that they were his staff members. Then he told her that he was going to pick the bill. In another place, Levi was washing his face while he was crying, just thinking about the picture of her drinking with someone else and the gossip of her having a new boyfriend, imagining that man with his hand on her shoulder under the lights of the night, while he was just trying to process everything. He hated that. He thought that it was not his place to be jealous. But he doesn't know what to do for those thoughts to go away. Then Yoon-soo, or the girl who works with him, was knocking the door, asking him if he was there. He opened the door with a gloomy face. She said that she worried about him and asked if he was all right. He replied that he had an upset stomach due to the alcohol. She mentioned that he looked very pale. He said that he was okay, but she feels bad because she was the one who dragged him there. Then he said that he needed to go. She was just speechless. She told him to wait a moment. He turned his head. In the middle of the night, they were sitting on the sidewalk while drinking water, and she asked him how was he feeling. He couldn't give an answer. Then she told him not to worry about the people, said back there he didn't understand. She was talking about the director and Mary. They went to the same university, so they were friends since then, so they spent time together. And people think that they were a couple. It was just a rumor. When they found out about that they were really angry and swore that they were just friends, she knows it because they worked together all this time. They were so close that they can be frank to each other. Then he asked her why she is telling him that and said that she has nothing to do with him. Then she mentioned that when she is in the studio, the same time he cannot look somewhere else. That is not her. He was ashamed. But the girl mentioned that she would keep it a secret and asked if it was like in the photo she took of him. He dropped the water and blushed. She was surprised for that face. She mentioned that usually his expression was like the one of a mannequin, but she makes him look like a human again. It was as if she was the only thing he could see in this world. This made a reaction on Levi's face. Then she mentioned that it was dangerous. She mentioned that she was worried about him for a reason and couldn't leave him alone. He was surprised that she knew that Mary was the only thing he could see. He tried to hide it, but could not be more obvious. He wondered if the way she looks to him, and because he was on the edge, or it was just pity. He wondered if she could really understand how he felt. That feeling when he sees her with someone else, the never-ending pain in his heart, she could really understand it. After hearing the alarm clock, Mary wakes up and turns off her cell phone alarm. Sitting on the bed, she stretches, holding her head and wishing, "Not going to work today." She starts to think for a moment. Looking into the void of her apartment, she turns to her side and sees Levi sleeping while thinking he must be having difficulties adapting to his job, as she thinks he has lost some weight. She approaches him, thinking, is he crying? She looks at him and says to herself, he has stopped touching me or asking for love as he used to. She stops thinking about Levi and gets out of bed. After feeling Mary get out of bed, Levi wakes up. Seeing Mary already dressed and ready to leave the apartment, he approaches her from behind, holding her by the waist. This gesture startled the protagonist a little, making her turn around quickly. Realizing that Levi's face is in front of her, without hesitation their lips meet for a warm and tender farewell kiss. Later in the afternoon, at the office, our protagonist looks out a window, thinking about the kiss Levi gave her before leaving the apartment. Seeing his sad face as he left through the door of her apartment on his way to the office, Mary thinks and says to herself, "You're the worst, Levi." Lost in her thoughts, she hears a voice that startles her and says, "Why that face?" Our dear protagonist quickly turns around and says, "Can't you see I'm busy?" Her boss, the director, looks at her with displeasure and says, "You just waste time on nonsense, thinking about nothing instead of working." At that moment, our protagonist stands up and says, "Anyway, why are you here?" As her boss, the director, drinks his coffee, he replies with annoyance and anger, "Do I really need a reason to be here?" Mary, with a look of displeasure, replies, "Are you kidding? Why would you pass by here then? It's not like I'm your girlfriend, is it?" This comment displeased her boss, the director, while Mary reproaches him, saying, "Do you know that the staff is talking behind our backs? They think we're dating." While her boss, the director, retorts, "I don't care if they talk about us." This comment makes her uncomfortable, as she pauses for a moment and thinks, "Wait, he didn't hear the rumor either?" While Mary touches her neck, she says, "What do I expect from him?" Meanwhile, her boss, the director, with a surprised look, says, "Seriously? Did you really fight because of me?" Mary remains silent for a moment in front of the boss, knowing that all this will lead nowhere, while he says to her with a calm face, "You've been very popular lately. Your last job was a great success. Thanks to that, you're making a name for yourself." Mary quickly turns to the director and he replies, "You could have done the work yourself." With a calm look and drinking his coffee, he just says, "Weren't you lecturing me about not getting involved with models recently?" Mary stops and turns to look at him with a furious face, as she says to herself, "I'm definitely going to report this bastard for sexual harassment someday." Then he said that when he saw his picture that day, he understood why she decided to come back. Of course, it'd be one less thing to worry about if they didn't stay close, but she never cared about those things. And he asked, why would she give him to someone else? She paused for a moment, then she tried to deny it, but couldn't say more. She wondered why she did it, why she stopped taking his pictures. That moment she could only think of his face, thinking that besides him, no one would have made her pick up the camera again. The director interrupted those thoughts, saying that he had never seen someone as twisted as her. She asked him if he was following all her personal life. He said no, but he needed to talk to her. She, annoyed, asked him to spill it out now. Then he asked her if she remembered Tehu. She mentioned that he was a fussy singer and asked if he complained that the photos turned out good. He said that he wanted her to take the next photos. This surprised her. She cannot believe he was calling her again after throwing a fit last time. She reminded what happened last time. The director asked her if she was proud of that and begged her to please not to tease him too much this time because he put aside his pride and ego to work with her again. He asked to not ruin this time, but she asked when she said she was going to take that job. He asked her if she was rejecting it. Then she asked when he was coming. In another part, Levi was sitting fatigued while someone was knocking the door. He wonders who that might be. Maybe is someone of the staff even thought he still had more time for the next shoot. Then he opened the door. She asked him if she interrupted his break. It was Mary, who was happy to see him. He wondered what she was doing there while she praised his looks. He could only say yes to her flattery. Also said that he had a photo shoot today. He felt somewhat stupid because he cannot remember how he talked to her before. She said that she also had a shoot and asked her if he had something after that. He said no. That made her happy, then proposed to have dinner together, or maybe order chicken and watch a movie together. He thought about it, but then she started to fix his hair because it was a mess. He wondered what he should do because he wanted to hug her right on the spot and caress her. Then she mentioned that she had to leave and would see him in the studio, mentioned that if she leaves late, he could go home first, but send her a message. He said that he can wait for her because it was not that cold anymore. Then he stopped, covering his mouth and thinking that he should not have said that, thinking that he shouldn't make her uncomfortable now that she came to see him. She just let out a big smile, then agreed to that, saying that she would try to finish as soon as possible. Then she left, and he was okay with waiting for her. That meant that she would never say no to him as long as he was not greedy. Then in the studio, a staff member was scolding Levi for his hair. Then they started to fix it. As he had enough battery on his phone, he just had to wait. But it was hard for him to calm down now that he saw her today. She might be watching, so he needs to get a grip. Then the photo shoot began, while his mind flooded again with thoughts. Seeing the camera reminded him of Mary taking pictures of him. He could only think that right now his existence was so visceral that he could finally feel that he was alive. While Levi was getting pictured, the session of photos ended, and the photographer was checking the photos with the editor. Levi wanted to ask something to the photographer and asked if he did something wrong. He said that no, he stopped because he took all the shots he needed. He admitted that he was looking for something else, but what he got matched the overall concept, but he thinks that everything is going to be all right. While he was being praised, Levi saw the camera on the desk. Seeing the camera made him feel like Mary was in front of him. Among all the bad feelings he was feeling right there, he felt something that could only feel with her. It was strange. So he decided to send her a message. When he went to where she works, he noticed that she was taking pictures. That made him clench his phone. Also, he knew that the one she was taking pictures of was not him. Then he realized that she was his entire world, but he is not hers. That thought made him tremble in shock, making him feel anger and helplessness. He didn't, know what he should do because getting her attention out of pity was not enough anymore. Then someone patted his head saying that his hair was messed up. He thought that he should hide those thoughts to not disappoint her. He doesn't want her to abandon him. Then he opened a door. He immediately regretted that decision. When he was trying to close it back, the one behind the door blocked it with his foot. Levi only remembered him because he was trying to fight him. Sung-tae greeted him, but Levi didn't say anything and walked beside him. Sung-tae gritted and asked if he was ignoring him. Levi didn't say anything and just ignored him because he didn't want to deal with him. Then Sung-tae held him by the throat and told him that he asked him a question. He asked him if he feels so big that he cannot even respond to his question. Then offended him a little more, and Levi asked him why. Sung-tae was skeptical and asked him if he seriously didn't know. He said that what Levi was wearing right now was supposed to be his. Hitting the locker, he said that he stole it from him, and Levi was just new and took what he worked so hard to get. Also said that there are so many models who lost their job because of him. They all work so hard to get at least something, but he just comes in and take the job of them. And better, Sung-tae just did what Tasik told him to do. If he had a problem, then go with him. Then Levi was already on the ground, and asked if all that was Tysek's fault, then asked what was up with Mary. If he slept with her, that made Levy angry and turned his gaze to him. Meanwhile, outside, a girl manager was rushing answering a phone while wondering where Levi was because he had to return the clothes. She wondered why he didn't answer, and she is going to look for him in the dressing room. She opened the door of the dressing room. She was shocked. She found Levi fighting with Sungtae. What happened was that after he asked the question, Sungtae said that he found photos she took of Levi and thought that they were pathetic, and he guessed that she took pity on him for that reason he got the job. Also said that she used to be very famous and also a good photographer back then. Also was gonna say something that would blow his mind. Among all of her dead boyfriend stuff, they found a bunch of her nudes. Added that she went off-grid for a few years after that. That left Levi in shock because he didn't know that a young female photographer, the rising star of the industry, felt in love with the photographer she was training, a big scandal, then the boyfriend died somewhere far away, and those photos became viral. All of that was on her. He was impressed that she could go on with all that. Then that happened. Levi hit his face with all his strength and threw him to the ground. Sungtae was shocked. He cannot believe Levi fought back. Then pushed Levi, asking him if he wanted to be unalive. Then he began to kick him in the stomach, asking for another punch, saying that he told him something good, then said that if it was not for Levi, she wouldn't have so many people talking about her on her back. Then Levi took his foot. Sungtae lost balance and fell to the ground. Levi positioned over him and chopped him. He was about to stab him with scissors, but then the girl appeared and asked him to stop it and put that down. Then Sungtae punched him, telling him to get off him. Then hit him a bit more, asking him what he was gonna do with that, asked him if he was obsessed with her, and said that it was not his fault that she was a slut. The girl tried to separate them, and Sungtae asked her if she was siding with Levi, saying that he tried to kill him, while she responded that he was doing the same thing. Levi was disconnected from reality for the traumatic things Sungtae told him. The other two were arguing, but he didn't react. The girl told Sungtae that they both needed to calm down and first go to see a doctor. Levi left the dressing room, while the girl told him to wait a moment. She was gonna go after him, but Sungtae stopped her. Then he asked her if she was going to comfort him, and asked why she always takes his side. Then she asked him if he told him about Sungho. He admitted it, claiming that it was the truth. Then she said that he had nothing to be proud of at all. She admitted that the director, and she knew all this time that he was interfering with Levi's work, he was his teammate, and he still bullied him, so they were taking Sungtae's side all along. If they knew things were gonna get to this level, then they would never look to the other side all this time. Then she ordered him to go to the hospital, and they were gonna talk about it later. Meanwhile, Levi was walking the corridor while almost falling unconscious. He had almost no energy left. Then he thought about all they said to each other, all the cute stuff, and how he found out about the nudes she had with her death boyfriend, how she always took photos of him when he asked her why she quit the job if she liked it so much. Among all the thought, the girl appeared behind him and said that no matter what he heard from Sungtae, but he was just trying to hurt him. Then he asked if he was lying, what he said. Then he looked at her with a sad and destroyed look, asking if they were lies. Meanwhile, in another part, Mary's boss was talking with the workers, and Mary told him that he was being a good boy today. This bothered him and asked her if this was how she talked to people, and she replied that this was how she was always. Then he told her that she should fix that. She asked why, because the one who had to get the job done was another one. If he didn't like it, he should get someone else. He said that she was pissing him off, but also said that she was good at her job and she thanked him. He said that he was surprised when he saw the pictures. This surprised her, thinking that he is being too honest for the kind of person he was. He asked her if that was how she looked at him. She asked what he meant with that. He replied that she made him look like a tyrant, someone aggressive and strong. He said that she totally killed it. She laughed, and she said that he looked like a celebrity complaining about that. It was just his thought, and she thanked him for liking her work, and she would make sure to do right the rest of the job. He said that she was so full of herself and asked her if she was ever going to get a boyfriend with that attitude. She didn't know what to say because he said that out of nowhere. They saw each other. She thought that he was arrogant, charismatic, strong features, and was fun to photograph him. Then she said that her boyfriend liked her just the way she was. Then thought that he was just a subject, and that was where she draws the line. She doesn't want to get personal with a model. Then she said that every Jack has a Jill. Then she asked if he was not busy, and Sayad that she would send the samples when ready. Then she left the place, but then she wondered to herself, what should she do? Already out, she was complaining in her head that she took longer than expected and wondered if Levi was still waiting for her. She made a call, but then she heard the ringtone of Levi near. She wondered if he was close, but the girl from before was there saying her name. She gave Mary the phone of Levi, and she wondered what happened to him. She started to talk and was gonna say something to Mary. Mary asked what, and she asked her if she was going out with Levi. This paralyzed her, and asked why she asked that. She said that she was worried about him, explained that one of the other models was jealous of Levi, explained that she looked the other way all the time. Mary told her that she needed to get to the point right away. Then she revealed that Levi knew what happened between Mary and Kim. This shocked Mari and almost heard nothing from that point. She continued explaining, but she was immersed in her thoughts. She said that Levi went home alone, despite being injured. Then Mary said that she would fix things up, said that she needed not to worry at all, and thanked her for letting her know. She was relieved that the conversation went well, but also said that she was fine, but also that Levi asked if those were lies. She said to him that she couldn't deny it, but nothing was like everyone else said. He retired her hands from him. He said that he didn't want to hear it from someone else. She tried to calm him down, but he said that it didn't matter. He also said that Mary would never notice someone like him, and then left in sadness. Later, in the coldness of the night, Mary was in the car looking at the phone, wondering if Levi would be in home. She thought that he got tired of her and then left. While she was looking at the broken phone, her own reflect. She was telling herself that she looked totally calm in a situation like this. Maybe if Levi left her, she wouldn't even stop him. Maybe she would just say that it was okay, it can't be helped, and would go back to her own life. She understands why someone like him would get tired of her. Then a flash appeared in the window of the car. She turned to see what was it. It was the light of another car. Then she was walking on the sidewalk, then saw how a pole that was broken was finally fixed. Wondered if it has been a long time since the day she found Levi in that exact place. Then she arrived home and tried to open the door, but noticed that the door was already open. It was strange that she's still having the keys checked if the door was already open. Then entered the department while thinking all the time that this time might have been the final straw. She lighted the lights up, hoping to see him there. He was there, asking her to not turn up the light. She thought that he was crying, judging from his voice. Then she turned on the lights. She asked Levi to have a conversation. He was saying something. This made her stand still. He said that he cannot do that anymore. He tried to hang on. Mary noticed his face was hurt and almost bleeding. Then he said that no matter how long he waits, she would never look at him. He said that he knew from the very beginning that she would never be his. She never had any intention to make him hers. Someone who had nothing nor nowhere to go, declining her, yearning for her, and getting frustrated for every rejection. He said that she really liked that. That was all Mary wanted, he said, while she in her mind was saying that it was not true at all. She was lonely, and his warmth next to her was nice. When she was with him, she felt that she was not alone in this world. Then she held his wrist and said that she really liked to be with him. He felt chills in his body and pushed her hand, saying that he didn't believe her because she always turned her back on him and never saw back to see what he was going through, as if he was nothing to her, so he would not get the wrong idea. She tried to deny it. Then he asked her to show it to him. He said that if it was not true, then prove it. Even more than what she showed to the goy before, she had to show to him everything. From one moment to another, he was stripping her. Then from one moment to another, she was in the bed and asked him what he wanted him to do while he didn't have a shirt on. He blinked and said that he just kept thinking about the pictures he took of her. Then she sat and asked him if he wanted to see them. He replied, no. And while starting crying, he said that she cannot stop thinking of them or imagining what they would look like. Maybe those thoughts would stop if he saw them just once. He said while squeezing the pillow. Then she standed up, and after looking for them, she put a picture book in front of him and said that he could look at them, or if he wanted, he could throw them out. He thought of it for a second and reached for them. She thought that those pictures were not precious for her or anything like that. If she kept them or throw them away, didn't mean anything. She just knew of their existence. She just kept them because she could not forget, even if she could never look inside. Levi was looking at every page of that book. While she was wondering if there were really that many pictures, he said nothing while flipping every page. Every picture of her beloved Mary as God brought her to this world. Then he asked her what it said in one of the pictures. It was a Latin phrase that meant, "Your feast is more bitter than sweet." She let out a little smile and asked Levi if he knew about Aesop's fable, the Town Mouse and the Country Mouse. That was a line of that story, where the proud town mouse brought the country mouse to the city, showing him the luxuries and richness of life there, but he didn't like the city. In the end, the country mouse went back to his home. That quote was what the country mouse said before living. She thought he was cruel because he hadn't to say anything, and the city mouse probably didn't know. She explained that he couldn't leave the CIY like the country mouse did, but left him just like that. To Sungho, she was the town mouse. She said that this world was bitter yet filled with sweet dreams. Levi thought for a second and asked her, "Did you love him?" She lied down on the bed and said, "I'm not sure anymore." She asked him if he remembers Ho. She left home with just her camera and money, because her family didn't want her to attend the school in the city. She explained that started classes but couldn't afford dorms, so she worked in 24-hour saunas, did all sort of things, and it wasn't easy to go to school. That was the time when she met him. He left his work at his studio because he liked her pictures, and he was already a renowned photographer at that time. Learning from him was like a dream come true. She felt like he was her savior. Hearing him saying that she was talented made her feel like she was someone special. Then she started skipping classes and always was by his side. Then they started to be a couple, without even asking each other to begin their relationship. There was not too much after that. They constantly argued. He didn't stay in one place for long. Also, he was in Korea once a year, so she was in their house alone most of the time, so they were far from each other most of the time, and she just waited for his return. There was a time when she could not handle it anymore, so they ended up breaking up. She didn't think it would affect him, but he said no. When she wanted to break up, she was surprised, knowing that he actually cared about her. He apologized and promised to be a better couple. But a month later, he went to another trip, leaving her alone again. And again, he said that it was going to be the last time and he was going to return soon. Then she said that she didn't care and he should just leave and go to hell. She thinks now that those words destroyed him and was the last time they talked to each other, the last thing she said to him. She doesn't remember how he looks like anymore. She didn't want to see his face, so she threw all of his pictures away. Then Levi asked, "How did he?" Before he could finish the question, she said that he got caught in a landslide. He always had to go to war zones, and she expected it to happen eventually, so she was not really surprised. Levi asked her if she still loves him. She replied no, even though she can't let him go, but also doesn't hurt to her. Think about him. But what she said when they last saw each other and they broke up, she cannot forget it. She regrets saying that. The only thing she regrets. Then she stood up from the bed and said that it was all and the truth. Then she opened the fridge and took a water can. He asked her if that was why she left photography. She said that it was not the only reason. She opened the water can and said that the press started to make a scandal about it. The greatest photographer in the country and his apprentice, that was the perfect scandal. Not a day was calm, and at some point she felt exhausted from it all. That's why she quit, not because of him. She just wanted peace and left everything. She is not sure if she really loved him, like a knight in shining armor coming to save her. That is just fantasy. Loving someone just because they are always by your side when things go bad, then getting disappointed and start to hate them. That would not be love. Then Levi asked, "What is love? How is wrong to love someone who held out a hand during a thought time? What else does she need? The world gets darker and darker. There is not hope left. So when you feel like you can't do this any longer, when you feel like ending it all." Then he remembered when he had nothing and was covered in snow. When he was in the verge of death, he lifted his gaze and saw it. He ended up loving someone who stayed by his side. He asked, "What is wrong with that?" He got closer to her and told her that it was why he loved her. Because she held out her hand and saved him, she was kind to him. So he loves her. He asks, "What is wrong with that?" She cannot say anything because currently she is in shock. She turned away and said, "I don't know." She cannot understand. Things like those cannot be normal. And Levi was already crying on her hands, and Mary said that she cannot push him away. She thinks it is because she feels sorry for him. Or maybe she sees her younger self in him and asked him what he wanted her to do. She thinks that it is a blind and twisted love. She could not embrace his love or turn it down. Maybe her indecision made him like this. She thinks she ruined him. Then he asked to please don't go away. He just wants her to stay by his side. She then said, okay, he is asking her to leave everything and just be with him. She then agreed to be together with each other. Then Levi asked her if she was crazy. He just asked her to leave everything, photography, her job, everything, just to be with him. She nodded. She asked her if she could just stay there in the house doing nothing and just stay there all the time?" She replied, yes, in her mind, she thought that even if he says that, she just is going to do whatever he wants. Levi asked her why would she. He started crying while she was thinking that her words cannot give him any comfort. And he asked her, how could she go that far just for him? She said that she really liked to be with him. She tried to make those words feel sincere, but for her, they felt hollow even to her own ears. She said that she cares about him, told him, let's be together. She feels that she is strange like he is, and it would be incomprehensible and would be like she couldn't take anything seriously. Just the two of them always. She hugged him, thinking that it doesn't matter, she would be fine if he just gets some comfort from it. At least for now, she cannot push him away looking so vulnerable. The next day, Levi is standing in the sidewalk. He is going to the agency to tell the boss that he quits. He thinks that he's just gonna get in, quit, and that's all. The other day, he asked her if she would really be okay with that. When he said he was going to return the suit to the studio, she is also going to tell the boss that she quits. He asked her if she really is going to quit her job for him, all for someone she found in the street. All because they love each other so much that they would die for it. She took his hand and told him that she knows it is hard, but she is going to get things sorted out as soon as possible so he doesn't do anything like this ever again. He cannot respond anything to that. While she was playing with his hand, but with a sad face and soulless eyes, she thinks that it is real. If they hold on a little longer, they will never be apart from each other ever again. And she doesn't have to feel anxious all the time anymore. He just has to hold on a little longer. Someone called him out. Then in another part, Mary was with his boss saying that her photos were amazing. Even if she is just a slacker, she could do this. She said that if they don't like it, then they could reschedule another shot. He asked why she is so humble when nobody is around. When he thinks of letting her go, she shows him that she can do more. She asked who is bearing with who here, because she is the one who suffers more. Then he said that people will love the photos. He told him that she was going to make a name from herself. She said that it was a shame. He asked why. Then she said that when she finished everything in the schedule, she was going to quit. He asked if he heard it right. She said again that she was going to quit. She'd do all the jobs she has scheduled, but not going to take anything new. And clean everything. Once she is done, the boss seemed tense and asked her again what she meant with that. She said that she is just telling in advance, so he doesn't make her work in any new project. He freaked out, saying that she cannot be serious. She said that she appreciates all his help. He doesn't understand why she says that. He held his own head because he cannot get it. He asked her to at least tell him why. She said that there was no reason, just working isn't her thing. It was better if she was unemployed. He asked her if she thinks he was stupid, that she didn't come here just to take it lightly. He assured that she loves photography so much that she cannot think on anything else. Why else would she be in the studio day and night? He held her by the shoulders and said that she is finally back on track. Things are really getting started and she is just quitting? He asked if she thinks the industry is just a joke. How can she just go around and do as she pleases? She said that she is grateful for everything he has done for her, but she decides that she is leaving, that she is going to finish the projects, and that's all. He is not talking about the projects. He wanted to know why, and brought up the subject of her deaf ex. She said that it was enough. She said that she is done with it and that he should just let her be. He asked her again if she is serious. He is fed up, then asked her if it was about her boyfriend. She said that it was nothing about him. He demanded an explanation because none of that makes sense. She said that she is really sorry, but he should just let her go. Then he said that he was going to pretend that he didn't hear any of that, but she still said that she is out. He said that he didn't buy it while walking out. He said that he was not going to put anything new in his schedule, so she can take some time to think and reconsider. And if after that she still wanted to quit, then she looks for him, but it'll be the last time she is gonna see him in her life. He slammed the door, leaving her speechless. Then she smacked the furniture in anger and frustration. Outside, the boss is fed up with her for the silly thing she wants to do. It's all written in her face. Then was looking for the schedule of Levi to know where to find him. Then made a call. And when answered, he asked for a favor. But then he sees Levi standing there and said that he won't be needing that favor anyways. He called him and said that they needed to have a talk after confirming that he was actually Levi. Because for the picture, obviously he was, and he saw with Mary before he introduced himself, extending his hand for a handshake. Levi already knew who he was, so there was no need for introductions. Then the director said that he needed to be on guard with him, and he just wanted to talk to them, saying that it seemed like he was getting ready for a photo shoot. He asked him if he had a minute to talk. Already in his office, the director told him that he had caught his interest since day one, and he had been lucky recently for being just an amateur, saying that everyone likes him, and he was happy that he didn't make a fuss for the unfortunate mistake. Levi asked what mistake. The director answered about what happened at the gallery not long ago, about the picture Mary took without his consent, because he heard that Levi was very upset for the use of that photography. Nobody would have known that the pictures would be swapped before the submission. Levi squeezed the folder he had in hands, and little by little he stopped hearing him, and then in his head resonated, "Did you not see me taking advantage of you?" The words of Mary. All that conversation passed through his mind, but above all, it was horrible for him hear from this man who talk as if the two of them are close. He shouldn't care about it, because Mary said she would be by his side. Levi then came back to reality to say that he should be going, but the director said that he didn't get to the point, so he tried to stop him, then asked how long he has known Mary. Levi then turned to see him and asked him why he asked that, and the director asked if he knew her well, also said that she seemed pretty serious about him and asked if they were just having a fling. Levi was gonna respond, but then the director asked why she was really quieting. He said that she has always been unpredictable but always loved her work, so when someone like her comes crawling back, you can bet it wasn't on a whim. He didn't understand why she suddenly wanted to quit something she really loved and asked him why would she do that. Levi asked why he should tell him. Then the director knew that Levi knew the reason. Then Levi asked, "What does it have to do with you?" He asked if he had something to do with that, and revealed that since 20 years ago he's been in love with her work, and he still is. These words shocked Levi. Then he kept talking, saying that she was the one who got him into photography, so there is no way he could axe at her walking away from it. Levi told him that Mary already made a decision, so he had no right to interfere with that. The director let out a cold laugh, asking him if he had no intention to stop her, saying that he had never really looked at her photos. The director said that it doesn't matter anymore, and they both were not serious at all. He knew that nothing good would have come out of getting involved with a model, but he helped her to get back into the industry in the first place, so he had nothing to say about it. Levi was thinking that he had no right on saying any of that, because he didn't know anything. He wanted to ask him what he thought about them both, while he kept talking that Mary didn't care about her work. He said that it was not true. Then the director asked him if he saw the picture he was touching. It was a picture that Mary took when she was just 19. A photo of a woman with a dress in front of the sun. This photo got to Levi, making his heart race. He was surprised by her picture. The director said that this was what she could do, and added that it was not even her first work. Then gave him a glance, telling him that he probably couldn't see that, because he was blinded by his petty jealousy. He said that Levi didn't know anything about Mary nor the person she is, and that if that's all there is in their relationship, then they should just break up, because they were just ruining each other's lives for something that would never work. Levi stood still, thinking. The director ended up saying that he was going to ask him to talk to her to convince her to stay, but it didn't matter anymore, because he was talking to the wrong person. Levi knew that the day when he could see her photos, he could no longer pretend. And though she always loved to sleep in, she never complained about getting up early for work. Her cameras were always clean and well protected. Her unenthusiastic and drowsy face changed. Every time she looked at the world beyond lenses, she lights up with life. Her eyes spark up lively. He only pretends to see is his own, because he was afraid that she would not love him anymore, and that hurt him. But even so, she told him that she would always stay with him. She would leave everything just to stay with someone like Levi. Everything she loved. He was just eating her away. Realized that all he was doing was trying to drag her into his dark world. He then started crying, saying that he loved her so much. He just said that he loved her, and yet he broke, thinking that if he was just a decent person, better than this, or maybe someone stronger, if they had met each other like that. In another place, the clock was ticking, and seemed that Mary was waiting for someone. She took the phone and wondered if he was still in bed. She called, but there was no answer on the other side. Just responded the machine, and wondered if he was. The image of his full cuts and bruises filled her head, then hurried to her car. It was nerve-wracking. Then entered the apartment. Then she saw him, thinking that she could not pass another second without knowing if he was okay. She got close to him and asked why he didn't answer his phone. She saw him, thinking that the place seemed a little less crowded. Then she asked him, "Are you leaving?" He answered, saying that he was sorry for not answering her calls. He was cleaning and was about to call her, but then his fingers froze. Then he held his head. He started to tremble. He was thinking that he has a job and now he made good money, but he still lives in her house. That was a little strange. You can leave someone stray forever, he said. Here he was, living as if he can, He thought that he was shameless. She replied that he was not. He didn't know what to respond. He said that she looked like she knew that this day would come. She doesn't look surprised, and asked her if she knew that this was going to happen. She didn't reply and wondered what she should do, and asked what he wanted her to do. Levi asked her if she was just going to do what he tells her to do. She would just quit her job, never set a foot outside, and leave everything behind until I'm satisfied? Just because I want to? He asked. He asked again if she was really going to do that. She asked if that would be enough for him. He replied, no, that would not be enough, saying that nothing would never be enough for him. Then she lifted her head. Then he said that he did, T, want to be a parasite, eating her life. Mary wondered if she could really leave everything behind and hole up in there forever. She thinks that it would not be hard for her at all. She lived like that before Levi came. It was like lying in a coffin, just waiting for time to pass. It was really not that bad. The only important thing for her right now is how he feels. She just felt like looking at her younger self towards him. Levi then said that despite he didn't want to become a parasite that eats her whole, he didn't want to be far from her neither. No matter how much he thinks about it, he cannot do anything. Something is wrong with his head, and only is getting worse. He feels like being hypnotized, only thinking of her. Everything else fades away. He cannot remember faces, nor names, nor people he sees every day. It was not normal to him. And asked her if he didn't think that it was strange too. He knew that he was really messed up. She grew so big inside of him that eventually his whole identity was pushed out, and the only thing left was her. If things kept like this, they both would be ruined. She herself said that she cannot be his God. She remembered that. Then he lifted his head and said that it was done. He came that far that her throe of pity cannot keep him satisfied anymore. He started to cry and said that if she cannot be his world, then is over. She still stared at him without saying anything, thinking that she cannot say anything in this moment. In the end, they held each other's hands, but the loneliness between them just was eased by them being with each other. But if she became his pain, then she said okay. In the dawn of that day, Levi was getting ready to leave. Levi said that winter was almost over. Mary, with soulless eyes, just could say, yeah. He said that he cannot imagine what it would be to be warm. He feels like it was winter forever. She feels like the kind of winter they stayed with each other has been her whole life. It'll be probably the same in the future, but she always knew in her mind that one day all would be over, that one day she would see him leaving. He turned to see her one more last time. He said that he looked at her pictures. Even the ones she took long ago, they made him cry. The thought that they were how she looked to the world. He felt the Mary he knew was just an illusion. He realized that he didn't know much about her, and maybe they didn't really know each other. But he is sure of one thing, she has to continue taking pictures. He told her to keep going. She asked what about him. He said that he was going to continue modeling because that was the only thing he can do, but maybe that won't work out. While he was opening the door, she said that it will. She was sure of it. He couldn't say anything else, but that she was so calm, and he kind of hates that. Then when he finally stepped out, she showed a face of worry. Then he said that it was a lie, that he didn't hate her. After all, she saved his worthless life when he was like a corpse. That is why he loved her so much. Then he finally left, leaving her with soulless eyes. Asking him to take care, her heart was beating, and the only thing she could say was, goodbye. Then she collapsed in the spot. She could just look at the door. And finally, she was alone again in her own house, just saying goodbye. Little time passed. In her monotonous life, she woke up after sleeping, her eyes were covered, and remembered that she had a photo session today. Because she didn't quit her job after all. He flooded her with work as if it was a revenge for scaring him. She washed her face and looked into the mirror. Lately, she just passes out when her head hits the pillow, and as soon as she opens her eyes, she is back with the camera in her hands. Not having any time to rest a little besides sleeping at nights. She has to take the photos, then edit them. This is kind of sucking her life. She is already tired of working like this. She takes a little time to stretch and free a bit her mind. Since she has been so focused on working, she has no time to think about anything else. She was in the transport, just listening to the voice indicating the stations. Then when she got off the train, she noticed something that was not good. She got off in another station. Her brain was completely fired. She could even fall asleep in her feet. Then she noticed that the photos of the shoot were already out. Even if she is fired up with work, she has not received any complaints from clients, but she still complains about the state of her work and the amount of work her director gives her. But not everything is bad. Maybe after the job of tomorrow, she could finally have time for herself. She was walking up the stairs and thought that she hasn't seen Levi again. since the day they broke up. She heard that he became the top model for big brands, and he is preparing for shoots overseas. After that, she just thinks about that when she thinks about him. Then she stood up in front of one of his pictures. Only after a few weeks, his photos are all over the streets. He looks like a well-made mannequin. His entire body seems to be screaming for everybody to look at him. He's been going to every audition he could find. He seems too busy, but she is not sure. Then she was hearing from her photographer friend what he has been doing while she was taking the pictures. She only heard how he was going on in his car. For him, it was amazing to see someone who didn't care to make a 180 turn in his life. She just thinks it's nice that he finally shines in the industry while taking photo after photo, thinking that at some point that expressionless guy began to gaze through lenses. And just like that, became the most coveted subject. She found him but neglected him. Now he is becoming known to the world. Then she turned her head to see that wherever he looked, he was there. Looking so different from the person she knew. It was like as his shyness and naivete before were just an illusion. That expression she has never seen before, she could feel all too strongly that he left her. She felt like he left her. It seemed like he was telling her that she is now alone, that he just has only himself now. And now she doesn't has him. She knows they are both alone and thinks that he also feels the way she feels. The emotions that rise from empathy, where someone used to be, are hollowness and sense of loss, and sadness that leaves an acrid feeling deep inside. They say that time heals wounds. Time would hold on to all the feelings and predictably quietly flow on. Then, another day, while editing, she was asked by someone, it was the director, if she ever goes home. She replied that she did a couple of days ago. He asked her where she sleeps. She said, over there, showing him a little space that was messy, with a heather, a table with some stuff, and a couch with a blanket. The director noticed that she was stealing the company's electricity. She justified herself, saying that she works day and night. For that reason, she doesn't waste money on the heater, saying that she even deserves a bonus. The director asked why she would sleep here if she lives so close. She should just sleep at home. Then she asked him to adjust her schedule before saying something like that. Then he invited her to dinner, but she rejected, saying that she would get hers when she is done working. Then he grabbed the screen of her computer, and trying to close it, he told her that she should stand up. If she wants to meet her precious deadline, she was worrying because he was about to break the computer. Then he told her that they were leaving in 5 minutes. While she was thinking that he was really annoying. Then, while lifting a bag to put all the garbage there, he told her that she should live with the pigs now that her space is so dirty, and that she would die if she continues eating as she has been eating up until now. Then she prepared herself, but the director told her that the weather outside is hot, so she didn't need a scarf. She looked at the scarf for a moment, but said that she was still cold. Then, already outside, where there were a bunch of restaurants, there were already eating. She pointed that he just invited her because he didn't want to drink alone. He asked her if the food was good. She said yes. He just stared at her and asked her if she was okay. She asked him what he was talking about. He replied that she knows. For someone who wanted to quit, she was just giving her all in the job she had now, so the question was rational. Then she said that he was the one who was filling her life with work and nothing else, and he was the last person to point that in her life, because he was the only reason her life was like that in the first place. He replied that it was because she was never the one to do what she is told that made her pause her eating. He said that it wouldn't kill her to open up a little, say that her life has been bad would be nice. Trying to be defensive all the time would be wrong. She was thinking about it, and the director said that he was not joking. She said that there was a story like that. There was some coward who tried to build a wall around himself to be protected from the outside world. Then one day he realized that the wall got too high and it was impossible to get out. In the end, he was totally isolated and became a loner. He asked if she did that. She replied, yeah, because that no one tries to take a bite of her or hurt her. She has paranoia that the person who smiles by her side ends up hurting her. That consumes her, so she pushes them away and thinks, oh, I think they'd walk away. She thinks it is good that she didn't let them in. She thinks she is smart when avoiding getting hurt. Then the director asks if she broke up with Levi. While she was thinking that she tried so hard on not to get to that subject, then she remembered how they liked each other and longed each other for days and nights. They were in love, but she doesn't see the point on thinking about that. She said that they broke up while laughing. He told her to stop laughing. She was a bit confused for that and asked why he reacted like that. He said that he met him before. It was the day she told him that she was going to quit. She asked him what he told him, then he told her that he was going to ask him to talk to her But then he got mad, he lost temper, and told him that they should break up, but didn't think he would actually do. That made her drop the spoon. She said that it was not his fault, and he was not the problem there. Then she served him a bit of wine. While he asked her why they broke up, he then assumed it was because the scandal of the photos. She replied that he was acting like a big brother right now. Then she was trying to figure out why they broke up. She was serving the wine, but the glass was flooded. She didn't stop, even when he retired the glass. Then he tried to take the bottle out of her hands because she would not retire it, but then she said that it was she. Cleaning the table, he asked what she meant with that. She replied that it was her. She was the problem. She was not sure why she was the problem. While ending the bottle, she wonders why, and remembered the last thing she heard from him. Then, what is love? She thought about all the questions about love he asked, the reason he loved her, his face, and how she treated him all the time. That was why he loved her. So she thinks the problem was her. She thinks how the scandal affected them, and how he is now the talk of the town. The past they had before they met each other, they were doomed from the beginning because they were not the problem, it was her. The director doesn't know what to say to this. Her gaze was soulless and without any feeling at all after saying that she was the problem. When he got too close, she became scared. So she convinced herself that this was only temporary. She squeezed her hand, saying that she needed someone to not feel lonely. That's why they stayed together for so long. She made all kind of excuses so he would not come any closer. She hurt him, then remembered what he told her. The words just flooded her mind, all the insecurity she planted in his mind, and thought that there was no reason to be afraid after all. There were only reasons to be together. Of all places, he could be in the city. She found him in front of her apartment. Even when she just stayed in her house, that very day she decided to go out. Even when there was a snowstorm, she could just have ignored him or called the police. Instead, she ended up bringing him home. All that had more possibilities of not happening than it happening, but it happened. But he was right. When he needed someone, when she was lonely, he came to her. That should have enough. That was enough reason for her to stay together. If she would reassured him, then there would have not been any problem, but her fears played along. She knows she pushed him away. This shocked the director. She was crying. She looked the director in the eyes and broke crying, asking herself why Levi had to meet someone as coward like her. She just stabbed herself in the heart, pretending it to be just a paper cut that would heal the next day. The director said that she would heal over time. She understood that moment that she had to face it, but right now she prefers to wallow in the sadness of parting with him. After drinking a bit more, the director wanted to drink a bit more, but she took him to an Uber and asked him to drop the director in his house, but the director preferred to go to the bar near his house to keep drinking. She saw him parting to his house, being alone again, then she left walking the street in the middle of the night, thinking that for everyone it has been warmer. But she feels it is still cold. She feels like it is going to start snowing at any second. She squeezed her hand and wondered how cold it was for Levi that day, or how hurt he was when he left. She wonders how long it'll be for his image to fade away. She just hopes that he is not alone. In a cold day like this, she just hopes he is not alone. She is okay with the idea of him forgetting her and asks that he is not sad or lonely. Another day, she was working like every day. Tehu came into her office, saying that the director was cheating. He saw him dating an actress. She could only think about him talking about scandals while dating an actress. Then he sat down while she pointed that they had not seen each other for a while. She asked if he had a photo shoot today, and he replied that otherwise he would not be there. While she thought that he was a bit cranky, he asked specifically for her to do his photos of today, but she turned down the job. That was why he was there to begin with. She said that her price went up. He didn't care about the price and asked about the director. He said that he was cheating and asked what she was going to do about that. She closed her notebook and asked if he was married. He didn't know what to say. She said that if he is having an affair, it was none of her business. They are already adults. Then she has nothing to say about that subject. Also, she didn't care about gossip. Tehu said that he was not married and he was talking about her and asked if she was not going out with him. She dropped her pencil. Then she remembered when she said that she is not his girlfriend and told him to stop loitering around her, and remembered how he told him that the staff thought that they were dating, that rumor was still going around. She now gets what he was talking about. She explained that it was just a rumor, nothing real. He remembered that she told him that she was dating someone, but she didn't understand why he would think it would be the director Sunwoo. He didn't know what to say. He asked who was her real boyfriend. She just looked at him without saying anything. And he asked what? Then she let out a laugh. He asked what she was laughing about. She said that he was being too obvious. He asked her if she thinks that she is special. He was just trying to make a conversation, and she starts with that, but she replied that he came out of the blue talking about affairs and the director, and now he is curious about the guy she is dating despite they not being close. Talking about personal things without knowing each other is weird. He turned his head with ego. Then while walking out, she said that she didn't plan on dating anyone anytime soon. Taeho cannot say anything, then asked if she was single. She turned her head thinking that they never had a situation like this before, thinking that he became crazy because she pissed him off or bruised his ego. Then he finally said that he was interested in her, saying that he was a good option after all. She said that he was not a bad option, but neither a good one. He asked her what she meant with that. He said that he was handsome, tall, popular, he could sing, dance, and is rich. He has it all. She recognized that all that was true, and sometimes she listened to his albums. He is surprised for this last thing. She says that she is not an album collector or a big fan. He is puzzled for this, and she says that he acts like a salesman making a pitch. Then he said that he shelled a bunch of money to buy her photography book. She thought that there was nothing like that she had published in a while. Maybe he bought the out-of-the-print one. He explained how he got one. Now he flips it whenever he is bored. She looks at him and thinks that she should stop teasing him anymore, while he said that because of that he started to like her more and more, wondering what kind of person she was. Then he asked her for her phone number. This made her feel thence. She had already seen his shows, and the main reason was because if she wanted to do her job well, then she had to do her research. For her, he was the best star there was. Even in the world of celebrities, where it was important to be humble, he was arrogant and rebellious, knowing that he could charm others with these dangerous sentiments. Yet he was the same man, being as shy as could be. She thought that a top star hitting on her, this was cheesy, even for a soap opera. She let out a small smile and turned him down. He asked, "Why not?" She replied that she is tired of dating. He said that she hasn't dated him before, so she should just forget the old and welcome the new. She told him to keep his voice down. Because someone could hear them, she startled. She apologized for what she was gonna say, that she wanted to get over dating. Then she said goodbye, and closing the door, she stood silent, thinking that it was a surprise. What happened with him today was not what ended up things. She started receiving messages from him. He was more persistent than she thought, slammed the table with her phone, and wondered if the director gave him her number, thinking that she shouldn't have replied to him in the first place. Her phone started ringing. It was him asking her if she wanted pasta, while she was thinking that she was excited, thinking on going home after finishing working. But there she was, wasting energy on pointless messages. She thought that he was annoying, insisting after being rejected. Then she turned, walked beside Levi's photos while thinking badly of Taeho, being hitting on by someone who was the clear opposite of Levi. His positivity is a mystery to her. Someone was passing besides her with a bunch of clothes, said hi to her while some of those clothes fell to the ground. She helped him lifting one of them. But when she raised her gaze, she noticed it was Levi, the delicate and sensitive person she cherished. She saw that he was holding a female model in a photo shoot. Levi's eyes seemed death. She could just think, what? What are you gonna do about it? She just saw how he saw her and turned away, thinking that she has become the perfect outsider of his life already. She took him for granted, and when his eyes followed her wherever she went, even if she has no right to be puzzled, when she faced the dryness that filled Levi's eyes, she thought he was trying as well, like how she was looking at his photos, filling the walls day after day. She thought he was like that too. She thinks that he is fine and won't be alone anymore. They finally started to go separate ways. Then someone called her. She turned behind to see who it was. It was the director, who asked her what she was looking at. She asked him to not say anything. She was just taking a peek because the door was open. The director said that it was not a big problem. He wanted to see what she was seeing. Then he needed to talk to her about something. Then in his office, he asked her why her phone was off. Asked if she enjoyed to make him run after her. She said that since a long time she hasn't gotten off work this early, so she wanted him to make it short. She was already tired of Taeho tanks for someone she was seeing but didn't want to say who it was. Then he said that it was not gonna take that long. He showed her a cover and she asked him what was that. He mentioned that they were doing preliminary round for the Alive photo contest, so she should do it. It was Global Alive, a contest where the world-famous photographers submitted their word. The average earning was 120,000 pieces every year. It was not something you could just enter after coming out a long hiatus. He tapped the table, bringing her back into reality. Asking her if she was listening, she replied yes, wondering why he always came out with these things out of the blue. Then he asked her if she was in. She said that it was not just a local show, it was a contest of a big scale. Not something she could rush into and be ready in a month. He then said that if she gets disqualified, then that was it. But he believes that with her skill, she could bring home a prize, at least in the new photographer category. Then she reminded him that he said that photographers like her were a dime a dozen. He asked her if she actually believed his words. She said that it was all out of a sudden, she didn't want such a time crunch if she applies, because she already had a ton in her hands. Then he said that Sung-ho was more busy than her and he won the prize when he was 22. That's why he thought that she could do it. He said that he was a genius, but she was a greater one than him. Her camera sparkled. She knew that he hated that guy's guts, but she wanted to stay objective. He was a world's renowned artist. Despite all, he was the best of the best. The director stood up. He said that he had more technical skills than she has, but still, she was better. That was the reason why he was so obsessed with her. She didn't know that, because she was always the one anxiously waiting for him. The director commented that he was sure that besides her, he always felt scared, because she was an aspiring photographer who takes in everything she is taught like a sponge. As for him, he couldn't stand to watch her imitating his stuff after working with him. She appreciated the compliment, but she feels that she is not as talented as he was. For her, his work was beautiful, meticulous enough to give goosebumps. It was insulting to even compare his skills to hers. Then he said, with an anxious tone, that she should just let him go already. She asked what he was talking about. Because she was never hung up on him in the first place, she already let him go a long time ago. But then he told her that she is scared to lose someone again, that's why she cannot have a proper relationship, and decided to hole up in her house. For several years, she could not even touch a camera she was so obsessed with. She could just look down, while he said that she was the only one who could not see the truth, that he had left her a mess. She could just say in her mind that it was not true. She remembered what she told Levi when she showed him her photos, wondering if that was not normal. To forget the face of the person she spent so many years with that quickly, the director wanted to snap he back to reality again, and said that if she continues like this, she'd be blind to her true feeling for the rest of her life. She should stop avoiding everything, she should face reality from time to time. After that, she was leaving the place, holding the pamphlet, thinking on what he just told her. Is she the only one who cannot see the truth? She is not hurt, because to her it doesn't hurt. She is not a pain because she is really not, she thought, because she already forgot. She saw Levi on the distance drinking coffee with someone else. He has a light smile on his face, and she looks so soulless, hurt, and out of reality. She thinks that she is ridiculous, even for herself, full of fear, tucked away in a tiny hole. She can't just let go and keep going. She imagined her walking towards him and just kissing him. But it was just that. Her imagination, because he accepted the reality, he just moved on. She was the only one who is stuck in treading water. He said that he didn't want to eat her alive. Then Levi turned, and while seeing him in the distance, she thought that in the end, she cannot even have a life. She is being eaten alive anyways. At night, she is lying in her bed, unable to sleep, wondering what time it was. It was 4:03 a.m. She has tried to sleep for about 3 hours already. She wonders how many days has them been. She thinks that she cannot sleep because she cannot get used to all that time off. She thinks that it would be a good idea. Go and see a doctor. Since that talk with the director, she has been prepared against her will for the competition. He was worried that she would change her mind with excuses, so he cleared her schedule so she could prepare her mind for the competition. She now is on vacation, one that she didn't ask for. What she does in this time is just go somewhere random and take photos. She is actually pretty happy with that arrangement, she mentioned while leaving the house. While going outside, she also thought that the only bad thing was that she has a lack of sleep for that same reason. She thought that she had absolutely nothing, and nothing had in her head when she was thinking about what to photograph. She takes the earliest bus because of the sunrise, but the sun is already up whenever she reaches the place she wants to photograph. She feels the pressure, maybe because it was a very big competition, or maybe she is just a lot of time inside her own mind. She doesn't know if she had a point on going, if she hasn't even choose a subject, but in other side, she should just be happy for participating. Then, after a long day off taking photos, she is ready to set things up. She receives a call and wonders who might be. because it is still too early. It was Taeho saying what he was doing and asked what she was doing. She was annoyed because it looked like he was using her number as a notepad or calendar. It annoyed her so much. Then lifted her head, prepared the camera, and took a photo of a seagull that was flying close behind where she was sitting, thinking that the seagull was pretty. Then she was revealing the photos, thinking that all she did all day was taking photos of what she liked. In the end, she enjoyed the result. Seeing the job she did herself for the day, she heard the phone from afar, already knowing who it was, telling her what he did all day. She thought that he was very persistent, even if she never replied, wondering if he really fell for her. Next, she threw her gloves to the trash and got out of the studio. Her teammate photographer said hello, asked her if she came to a photo shoot this morning, but she replied no, she just came early to work in something else. Then she asked how was the shoot, but he told her to not ask. He feels like the last season already ended to begin a new one today. He was exhausted for all the work he's been doing. That was the gadget of the industry. Then he invited her for a coffee. She asked if he is paying, despite being the one who earns most in the studio. So he is paying, but only vending machine coffee. Then they talked about the competition she was preparing for, and Mary got a bit upset because the director probably told everyone. Then someone called her. It was Yoonso, the girl from before. The photographer told her that she missed a free coffee because she already bought one. Yoonso looked at Mary and greeted her. Mary just looked at her with soulless eyes and said that it has been a while. This called the attention of the other photographer and asked why they looked awkward. It looked like they just met. Mary said that it was because they had never worked together before. He gave her the reason, then asked Yoonso if she has not heard the news yet. She asked what news. He told her that Mary was entering the competition. When Mary heard that, almost chocked with the coffee, and asked him why he brought that up, and he justified that it was not a secret at all. Then Yoonso asked if it was the Alive competition. He then said that if she wanted to go to Washington, she had to qualify for the second round, and the winner will appear in the magazine too, and mentioned that she should give her all because the competition would be fierce this year. All this while Yoonso was glaring on her. Then Mary said that she would be lucky if she qualified for the first preliminary round. Then they told her that she should give her best. Then he said that when she wins, her name would be worldwide. But she said that it was easier said than done. Then he said that she should be getting ready because the submission deadline is soon. Then he mentioned that the day after tomorrow, Levi was going to be walking the runway for the first time. This paused her thoughts. Yoonso noticed something in her reaction. He mentioned that Levi didn't look like that, but was pretty serious. Then asked her to bring flowers to him when she comes to see the show. But the Yoonso held his arm and squeezed. He asked her what was wrong. Then she mentioned that they should get back in the studio, while Mary was just lost in thoughts. Then she said that it looked like he was pretty busy, and she should also go back to work. She said thanks to the coffee while he was looking at Yoonso. He asked what happened. If she reacted like that, then something must have happened, but Yoonso just told him that they should keep going. Then, before going, he invited Mary for a drink later with Sunwoo, because they haven't seen each other for a long time, so when she is free, they should go for a drink together. He left while Mary was thinking. She was thinking that she cannot picture Levi dressed up with cameras flashing. That was not the guy she used to live with before. Now he was a professional model. Then thought that the director was pushing her to take any photos she wanted by placing her in the competition. It all goes right. Then she and Levi would never see each other ever again. She feels like they were living together not long ago, yet they moved so far from one another. She was walking under the sakura trees while talking on her phone, saying that she had ready the papers for the competition, now they should just wait and see. Then in front of her was Taeho. Asked her if she would never have a dinner with him, even if the world was about to end. Also said that her fingers should be pretty fragile to write a reply. She just said that he got it while passing by his side. He asked if he was that bad. She replied yes. He asked what she hated about him. She replied, Taeho. He asked what she meant. She said that he just had a bad timing, she just is not interested right now, and besides that, she doesn't want to get involved with someone she knows professionally, neither a celebrity. At her age, she wants to avoid someone risky. He wanted to know what she meant with that. He said that he wanted to date someone and get married. Just like anyone else, this made her tremble. She asked him what he was talking about. She didn't want to talk about marriage. He said that he was just saying that he was just a regular guy. He let out a sight while looking at her, and she was in a defensive state. She then asked him why he didn't date a fellow celebrity. Then he said that she didn't have to be his girlfriend right away, they could just talk to each other from time to time. She asked if anyone fell for that before. He said that he was serious when he said that he liked her. He saw something refreshing on her, and thought that she was jerk but fun. Also, her photos were amazing. She could only hear that he thought she was annoying. Then he teased her, asking her if she knew more guys than girls. He knew that she didn't have too many friends. Then he said that he was not going to ask her out on a date, but at least let him become like a good friend. She didn't know how to respond to that. That just gave her chills. Told him that she already had enough headaches. He said that she was playing hard with him, and she recommended him to find someone else who would be easier. Then she asked him why would he want to date her anyways. He answered that he was really into her. She let out a small laugh. He asked her if she just laughed. She said no. He said that she was just being coy. Then she replied that he didn't know when to give up. She said okay, fine. She would text him back so he could stop following her. He said that he was a very busy person, and yet he came to see her. She can't just tell him to leave. Then she asked him what he wanted. Then he invited her to a cup of coffee. She told him that he should learn to listen to others. He then purposed a drink. She said that she was going to block his number. If he said anything else, he said that he was kidding. He said that he was leaving because he had a photo shoot that night, but said that they really needed to go to drink together sometime. He said that he can invite Sunwoo too. This gave her chills. Then we just said goodbye. While waving his hand, she took her phone that was vibrating. It was Taeho again. Then she thought that it was similar to what happened before. Then it was a night in the city, filled with people in their own world. People noticed that Taeho was there, who was having some cups with people. The director and Mary, they were celebrating because Mary had passed the preliminaries. They were praising her while she was just listening to their blah 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 thing. She just glanced at them. They were saying that despite she always said that she couldn't do it, in the end she could. Then Taeho, by seeing how they talked to each other, wondered how the rumor of them both dating each other began. She knows that it was ridiculous. Then she mentioned that since the day she sent the submission, Taeho started to join the director and her to invite her out drinking. There were people who recognized her, but it was normal since he was a celebrity. She is thankful that he stopped asking her out on a date, but he started to talk casually to her. She, in the beginning, thought that it would be a terrible idea, but she now is a bit comfortable. She was having a good time with them. They asked her when she was going to show them the photo of the second round. She had a worry reaction. They asked why she reacted like that. They asked her if she had nothing prepared for the second round. She mentioned that she never expected to pass the first one to begin with. Taeho mentioned that if she was in a rush, then she could use him as the subject. She said no, but she had only a week until the deadline, and asked her what she had planned to do. She said that she would figure something out, but the director asked her if she didn't have a bunch of photos that she never realized. She replied that she didn't only had 1 or 2 rolls lying around, so it would take hours to look among them to get the perfect one. They told her to stop whining, so she better give her 100%, but she said that they never listened to her before. The director told Taeho to look at her. He took care of her when she was on death's door, and she doesn't remember a thing. But all she could remember was him putting her to work to death. Then they started arguing. Then she was walking with the director thinking that in the end, life was not so bad. Then he asked her if she went to see him in the runaway. She mentioned that she was busy and she didn't have any reason to go. He mentioned that he was doing a good job. He said that indeed, he was popular now that he had come to the studio. He mentioned that she should work hard too. She said that she would, since the submission deadline was just around the corner. It was okay if things aren't busy. She didn't care about this lifestyle. She was not walking up in the cold seat anymore, and doesn't stay in the middle of the street anymore when she sees Levi's photos. She says that she feels so distant, like seeing someone on the TV. Then she mentioned to the director that he shouldn't care about her at all. Another day, someone was standing in front of a building. The phone of Mary was ringing. This woke her up and wondered what was happening. Then she slipped and fell from the bed to the ground. It hurt, but she reached the phone. She answered, and the voice asked her if she was still in bed and that he needed to see her. She first needed to pick up her laptop. The voice told her to hurry up. All her room was a mess. She was thinking that she fell asleep looking in her old stuff for a good photo. She was thinking that she would never end up cleaning it all. After a while, nothing catched her attention. Was thinking if she should take a new one. Was looking at the conversation with Taeho, then got ready to go out, thinking that in the end she would end up taking photos of Taeho. Then she prepared to go out, but something called her attention. A box. She thought that she put some more film there, then took that box. But then she realized that it was heavy. It fell from her hands, and a bunch of photos fell to the ground. Then she started to check them up, thinking on the words, "Can't you take pictures without all this setup? I can't. your eyes aren't as dark and strange as your lens. Then saw a photo of Levi. She stared at it for a moment. She didn't think she took so many pictures of, then remembered how he told her that he loved her very much. All those moments together came all them into her mind like a big mind. She lamented herself while looking at all those pictures. How she used them to take advantage of him, and the feelings she tried to ignore, all that are in those photos. She thinks that it was all too late now, he's gone for good, and holding one of them close her face, thought that he was never gonna come back to her ever again. She thought that it suited her to be held in this small cave and never crawl out ever again. She thought that it was not true. She thought she was walking like death, and he came to save her. That is what she should have told him. Even if she was not good at all, or was afraid, or looked like a fool, even when they went their separate ways, she should have stopped Levi and should have told him that. Then a picture of him crossed her mind, asking her why can't she do it now? It was not too late, even if she thinks so. The same old excuse, she was gonna say that again. Then she stood up and left. Trying to make a call, she said that when she met him, she was so happy and excited. She also needed someone by her side, even more than him. He was the one who came to her and held her hand when she was so desperate. His love and his gestures, his touch and the warmth of his love, all those things. She just didn't want to wait there, standing alone, hoping for someone to come and help her, while Levi was there standing alone. Seeing that there wouldn't be a tomorrow together, she came out of her house, seeing him standing there not doing anything. She called out to him, and he turned around, even thought he promised to himself to never come back. They were now facing each other. He was silent when he saw Mary in front of him. He tried to put on an excuse, saying that he was just walking by, nothing to do with her. He averted the gaze and tried to say a nonsense excuse. But she didn't believe any word he said to her. He kept talking and talking while her lifeless eyes and empty expression could just see him. While he was saying that he just happened to be there and nothing else, she then hit him in the shoulder. Then he broke down. He said that today was meant to be the last time he walked by there. After all, it didn't matter how much he missed her, he swore to never wait for her anymore. He then was changing his attitude to a somewhat frustrating behavior. He asked her why she had to show up today, of all days. He wanted her to say something, anything. He then said that he hated her. If only that day she didn't came up to rescue him, if she wouldn't care if he lived or froze to death, he wouldn't have ruined everything. Then told her that she should have let him froze to death and shouldn't have given him hope. He wanted to die and not have ever met how it felt like to feel what he was feeling right now. He had just wanted to live just to see her, but thanks to that, he just felt miserable. Then, in a stream of tears, he asked her why she saved him. Then, while she was feeling terrible, he said that this was the end with them too, that he was going to let everything go, then was leaving, saying that he was not going to wait for someone like her ever again. Then asked her not to just stay there. He wanted her to say something, anything. He then asked her, begged her to say something, anything. She then held his face and hugged him while he was stunned and crying. Then he embraced her too. While kneeling down, the hug continued, and she said repeatedly that she loved him. She lived him that much that it hurt to her. The embrace continued. While Mary thought that she didn't know what he wanted from her. She thought that he had left her and wondered why he had been standing there waiting for her and wondered for how long he had been there. She didn't think about looking back because she was very inside her own pain. Then the embrace ended and he begged her to save him. She got closer to his face, to kiss him in the lips, and with a smile she asked him to go him with her. Already inside home, the embrace continued. Mary asked Levi not to cry. He said that he didn't want to, but his tears wouldn't stop falling. Then she held his hand and begged him to stop crying. While he said that he didn't know how to stop crying, after a while she asked him if he was feeling better now. She was checking on him. Then he got his face close to hers, and she accepted the kiss in her neck, while saying that from that day on, she wouldn't let him go anywhere, and said that she was going to ask him again and again to please not leave her. She wanted him to stay by her side forever while he was crying. While they both were kissing, then she asked him if he was eating well since he had lost weight. Then they did you already know what? While she wished that they could become one and never leave each other. After that much of action, Mary was sitting on the bed and Levi wanted to say something. He said that if they both broke up again, he could actually die for real. She reassured him that she would not let him go anywhere anymore. He replied that she was there with him only because he begged her, because she felt sorry for him. But then she kissed him, telling him that it was not the reason. She used to think that it didn't matter, but now even if he wanted to leave, she would not let him go. He said that she didn't used to be like this. She said that she was scared while Levi was beginning to cry again. Then he said that the day he left, on purpose, he walked away slowly, very slow, just in case of her coming after him. He was having some hope of that door to be opened, and she would step out. But then, after some days, he came back again and again. After moving forward, he kept coming back. He thought that what he did was a very idiotic thing. He said that every day felt like dying. He thought that he was already dead. He was drifting like a ghost that acted as a model. His biggest fear was of her forgetting about him forever. He hugged her, saying that he held on to her desperately. He wanted to make sure that she would not forget him. She consoled him while he said that he wanted, for wherever she only saw his face. That was the reason that he auditioned like 5 to 6 times a day, so his face would be everywhere. This was the reason she was seeing him so often in promotionals. It was weird for her at the beginning, but it made sense. When she tried to forget him, she saw his face. He never let her forget him. She remembered every time he told her that he wished every man she took photos of or anyone else she talked to would disappear. Then she told him that more than anything else, she loved taking pictures of him. To her, he was the most beautiful person in the world, remembering that she had never cried before meeting him. Then they did it all night, without anyone to guard the door in case of children wanting to get candies, you know what I mean? After all the cardio they did, she said that she doesn't think that she could love anyone else like this. She knew it because she couldn't get excited over a hotshot celebrity chasing her. This made him a bit jealous, but she said that she was just giving an example, but we know that actually happened. She said that even with someone incredible wanting her, she would still choose him. He called her a liar, but she assured him that it was the truth. Even if they spent 1,000 years together, she would still be scared of losing him, but she would never let him go. Then she told him that she would keep telling him that until he believed her words without any doubt. He then said that he would fight to hold on to her. Another day, she was taking pictures of him, and he realized that she said that she thought that a pretty boy was there, but it was just him. She then mocked him a little, calling him lazy, then took something off his hair, thinking the reason he always had something in his hair. This thing of him seemed cute to her. Then she commented that she took photos of a model. He asked if it was a male model. She assured him that it was a female model. He had a doubtful look in his face, and while pinching her cheek, she said that if someone between them both would be jealous, it should be her. After all, he was always surrounded by pretty women. He said that he didn't talk to other women, but she always smiles and is playful with other men. He said that she must really enjoy it. She had no reason to be jealous. Meanwhile, he was constantly on the edge, feeling like his stomach was about to eat itself constantly. But she replied that he had to work in his social skills. She said that no one refused to talk to someone just because it was a woman. That was just basic human interaction. Then asked him if he was even listening to her. Then he asked her if she would be jealous if he talked to other women. She was fed up with that attitude, actually. If she said that she didn't care, he would sulk, saying that she didn't love him. But if she said she cared, he would call her pissy, saying that she didn't care when she did, but cared when he did. For her, that was a lose-lose situation. It was a problem for her even if he claimed that he didn't talk to other women, said that what she felt was not the point. She told him that what really matters was what was the best for him. He needed to expand his world, and if he closed only to her, then he would miss big opportunities. He asked her what was the problem if his world was small. He stood up and said that not every person had to be social nor ambitious, that not everyone had to look for something bigger, and telling a goldfish to learn how to swim was basically telling it to die. He held her hand and said that he was born in a small bowl. He didn't want to be some world-famous model nor a celebrity. He had just to earn enough to be with her, and in relationships, she was enough, while she said that he was getting too good in arguing. Then asked her if she didn't get jealous when other women came to talk to him. She held his face and gave him a sudden kiss, and told him that she did, while he pointed to the fact that she always tried to shut him up with a kiss, but she knew that he liked it when she did it. Then she said that they talked way too much, and they had to go. She wanted to have a real date with him, while thinking that she had to be as bad in the head like him. Constantly doubting and not believing, also falling into self-pity. She thought that it was really annoying, but for her, it was being in an actual relationship. Later, she was working while the director was happy, praising her work and how she captured the colors, saying that this is the kind of work that suited her perfectly. He then mentioned Seong. Mary asked him what was the matter with him. He said that back when they were at school, she said that she would shoot the whole world, in the photography way, not in the other bad way. She remembered how in the past she held on to fleeting moments. she let slip away, so she understood why Seong had to leave. Then she let the papers down and told the director that she was not going to be like him. Then she knew that she wasn't giving up, not for his sake, but for her own good. While confessing that running around with her camera was something she enjoyed, she knew that he pushed her to do that, but her job, it was something she could enjoy. The director was okay, knowing that, then said that now that her work was improving, she had to move from her apartment. After all, it was garbage. She was annoyed that he always talked bad about her place because not everyone was born in Silver Spoon like him. He continued asking her, how could she sleep in a place like that? She should at least find a place with decent light and real rooms, someplace livable, because it was too crowded for 2 people. This last statement surprised Mary. Then she thought about it. He was right on that. Thought that when the director threw her that much work, her fame in the industry skyrocketed, and now famous actors always recognized her. Some even had good nicknames for her. Thought about all that happened and how she almost cut it out and ruined everything. Then Taeho came and greeted her. For her, he was an asshole. She asked him what he wanted. He gave her something for her to sign. She wanted to know who the hell wanted an autograph over a magazine. With a defensive tone, obviously he asked him so what. He really wanted one autograph from her. He was taking out a pen. Then she clarified that objectively speaking, it was supposed to be her the one who should ask him his autograph, and asked him since when photographers gave autographs to a star. While showing him his own album, he asked her if she really bought it. She replied, asking him if he thought that she stole it, and reminded him that he himself lectured her about illegal downloads and copyright laws. Then he asked her what song she liked the best. She said that the last one was her favorite. He said that it was just the soundtrack. Then she meant that his voice was not good enough. While signing it, she said that the melody was the best for her. He said that he did the track by himself. She asked him if he composed too, while a tear was falling by his cheek. He said that for himself, he was not too good, and he just sneaked one at the end. She said that he should try more lyrics next time. She said that if she liked it, then she would buy it again. This blushed him a lot. Then he gave her the album with something written on it. Then she mentioned that she got back together with her boyfriend, and he said that she didn't know what would happen in the future. While she said that he was a real piece of work, she gave it back and said that she was not replying anymore. He asked her why she had to be so dramatic. She replied that her boyfriend was the jealous type, and she thanked him for the autograph. And he called her ruthless, but she said that leading people on is worse. He called her a real class act, and she thanked him for that. She said that now she wanted to go back to the shoot. Then he said that no matter what she said, he was being true when he said that her photos were good. Then he said that he was going to be professional, but if she broke up with her boyfriend, then she could text him. She wondered what he meant with that. And while he was saying that they should go back to work, she thought that he was just an airhead. Another time, Mary and Levi were walking down a beautiful road with pink trees and a clear sky. She was saying that on the weekend she wanted to go somewhere with him after the shooting. Her real plan was to go find a new place to live with him. He asked if it was okay if he waited for her until she finished. She asked him if he wanted to. She expected him to ask her where they were going. While he looked excited, she pointed that he looked too excited for someone who didn't know where they were going. Then he said that as long as it was with her, he didn't care where they were going. Also, she didn't nag him about waiting for her as much as she did before. She was surprised that it was all it took to make him happy. Then she revealed that she liked when he waited for her. She liked going home with him. This blushed him a little. And while holding hands, she pointed to the fact that he didn't call it a lie anymore. He didn't notice that. Then she told him that she loved him while looking at him with bright eyes, and asked him if she didn't sound sincere enough. He looked at the sky. He replied that he only felt alike when he was with her, but in his heart he said that he couldn't put his feelings into words easily. He wondered how he could say all his hidden emotions. He didn't know how, and wondered if there was ever going to be a day when he could reveal them freely. While she was asking him about a place where they should go to eat together, he wondered if they could really love each other together. Thought that one day something bad would happen between them both. But he was okay with that. He was sure they both would be okay. In another moment, the director was working and told the staff that they were taking a 5-minute break, then back to work. His assistant asked him if he was also having problems with the take. He was feeling bad about that too. He replied no. They were dressing Levi, and the director told him that they needed to talk. It was obvious that he didn't want to talk just by looking at his face. The director knew that, but hurried him up to that and told him that they didn't have all day. Levi asked him if it would not be better to use that time to take photos instead of arguing, while the director was annoyed by that comment and asked him what he thought that was causing the delay just now. Levi asked him if he got a problem. The director asked him if he even knew what the shoot was for. Levi answered that it was for a suit ad. The director said he was right. It was for a world-class men's brand. It was not a normal ad for normal brands, and he had to show some confidence and asked him if he was listening. Levi said that he was, and the director clenched his fist over the behavior of Levi and asked him then why he kept making that kind of sultry-ass face, and asked him if he was trying to seduce someone with that. Levi said that he advised him to not act manly because it didn't suit him, but the director meant not to force it. While the staff was looking at them arguing, it was clear it was not the first time. Then Levi said that he was not the manly type, but the director told him that he had two other options. He asked him if he was not a model, and stated that if he asked for natural masculinity, then he should be able to give him that. Levi said that he was not manly enough to fake that kind of look. This angered the director. And made him clear his anger, while the staff, though, of going for a coffee while they both were arguing, and the director was too angry, that much that he just wanted to punch him in the face right now. He just wanted for him to look that pissed off all the time. But he knew that when he gets back to the spot, he got all weirdly lethargic. He grabbed his camera to get back to work while thinking that Levi was just looking at someone beyond the lens. He knew perfectly whom he was looking at, and that was the thing that pissed him off the most. But no matter what, when it comes to the sense of photography and ad photos, he was better than Mary, and he knew that she could tame this wild dog. He could do it better no matter what. Then showed him a ring he used as a necklace, and told him that Mary gave him that. This called his attention. He confessed that she gave him that ring in his graduation, even though she was broke. She thought about it and gave it to him. This darkened Levi's face. He told him that if he did what he told him, then he would give him that ring. Levi was decided to get that ring, and the director was surprised on how easy it was to tame him up. Levi was getting ready to get that ring for himself, and the director was surprised on how fast Levi got that look he was looking for. While thinking that it looked like Levi was about to burn a hole right through his face, the photo shoot would take too little time this way. It was perfect for the schedule, and while he saw at how pissed he was, Levi asked him why he didn't just drop dead. Then after the shooting, the director was washing his hands, thinking that Levi was a bastard, and complaining about him. Luckily, it was all on his head, because Levi was right in front of him. They met gazes, while the director was still thinking that he was a brat. Levi wanted to get the ring already. The director was curious of the reason that Levi wanted it that badly. Then as he promised it to him, he gave it to him. Levi took it as quickly as he could, while the director was still thinking that he was just a little brat. Then he remembered how he got that ring from her, that gave it to him as some kind of tribute, as Hyun forced her to give it to him as she ended up graduating 1 year later than him. But he was not going to tell him that. Watching him jealous was entertaining. Her face back then was a feast to him. But every time he talked about her, Levi got very pissed off. But then he saw how Levi threw it to the toilet and flushed it. Seeing how it left the place to the sewers, the director was speechless. Then Levi left right away. The director didn't know what to say right then. Thought that Levi had lost his mind, but honestly, he had never had a mind of his own since the beginning of this manhwa. At noon, Levi was walking by a park for kids. He was thinking that he didn't want to work with a director ever again who was fed up of being with him all day, every day. He thought that Mary would tell him to stop whining, but nothing else would matter to him anymore. He right then thought that the world would be way better if the director would just disappear completely from the world. He was angry. Every time he thought about him, he was more pissed off. He thought that it was his fault that he wasted his first time of vacation with the director instead of being with Mary, and he had a hard time matching the vacation days with her. Then he thought about her. It was not proper for her to stay home all day. Then he looked at his own reflection. A few days before, she was talking about them both sharing a proper home. While she was talking about that, he just thought about them both living together. He was lost in thought when she made him snap out, asking him if he didn't like it. He tried to say something while playing with a tissue. He said that he liked to be with her in a small place. This surprised her. And while holding hands, he asked her to forget what she said. Then, smiling, she said that they could stick together in a small place too. Then he blushed when she said that they would be like newlyweds. He thought about that, and in the present, he was thinking about how she was too busy looking for a place that they both would call home. While entering the department, he thought that today was an unpleasant day, but as long as she was waiting for him behind the door, he would be okay. But she was not there. He entered while thinking if she could probably not being home. He wondered where she was because she said that she would just laze around today. Then he saw her lying down on the floor. He hurried up on her aide. AAND asked her if she was awake or hurt. When he told her that they had to go to the hospital, she placed her hand on his face and told him that it was hot. She was referring to his hand. She was having a heat wave attack or something like that. She was burning hot. And that is worse than dying, believe me. Where I am now is also very hot. He thought that he was not actually sick, but this of having heat is worse in real life. After the danger passed, he told her that she scared him a lot, but as the AC was broken, then she should have gone to a cafe or a place like that. With an ice cream on her cheek, she said that she thought she was going to be fine. But when she dozed off, she almost died. And the AC repair was going to take 4 days, and wondered how this expensive apartment had zero insulation. She said that due to the heat, she was going to die. Then he invited her to eat that ice cream, but it fell on her skin. He apologized. Then he saw that she was covered in ice cream all over her body. She looked at something rising inside of him and already knew what he was thinking. He seemed to not even care about her dying of heat. After something, she was lying down in the bath tube, already feeling a bit better. He said that she shouldn't be there with her clothes on. Then she called him pervert. He said that the fact that he didn't make any move there made him a gentleman. Then she splashed some water on his face. She was enjoying of toying with him, but he couldn't hold on those jokes and continued the thing in the blankets. I don't know why. If it was too hot, then they should have stayed on the water. After let's say 15 hours. He asked her if she was okay after that exercise. He asked her if she was not hot to melt, but as it was nighttime, it should be better. He said that as they were on a high floor, the breeze felt nice, and having a fan would be enough, but she said that it was as hot as a fever. He kissed her cheek and said that as long as he was with her, he could be in the middle of the desert. She refused it because she hated hot, but to him it was cute. And while pulling his cheek, she asked him to be honest. She asked him if he was heat exhausted, because nobody would say that in his right mind. Then he told her that he loved her, and she said that she loved him too. And in their heart, they remembered the winter they met. They were in the past, that the winter would end. Back then, he thought he was just desperately clinging to something that would end up melting away like the snow. But now that the season of winter had passed, they were still together, and they were willing to melt away only if they were going to do that being together. They were ready to spend all the seasons to come together, starting by this summer, and she won't be able to walk by the end of it.